I'm sorry. I'm laughing over here to myself. I don't mean to make fun of poor Kels when she said that she was hit by a bicycle, but in my mind, I just thought, I didn't think it was a child. I literally thought it was like a 2 or 3 person tandem bike that just like mowed you down. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good time zone, one and all. Kels, I hope that you are having a good day. That I'm happy that you're not physically injured. I hope that you're not emotionally injured. And I'm glad that, was the child injured? Did they just not know how to brake? Did they also go tumbling into the grass? I have so many questions. So many. Chaotic, thank you so much for almost 5 years. Tier 3, let's go. Thank you so much. Chaotic, make sure to fill out the PP form. Our last month. Thank you for enlarging our PP. I think, almost, my God, since the beginning of stream, we have 7 more points, so I gotta do the math. And Becky, thank you so much for 35 months. Welcome on back. I appreciate you. Let me get the PP form in the chat. I appreciate it. How are y'all doing today? Hello. Thanks for all the lurks, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Sorry I was live early today, but once again, I was just twisting my thumbs while I was here. How's everybody's weekends? Hi, Becky. Hi, Jen. Can we please stop it? Can we please, just for a moment? You don't even know what's happening today. I got all new stuff for you today. We got all new potential fishing images. You pulled up Eddie Munson. Thanks, Barrett. Thanks for the 250 biddies. Thank you for the hype train. We've also got new wheel spin incentives for the regular wheel spin and our Stardew wheel spin, okay? So for any of the dailies that get hit, all new stuff, much to my dismay. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Jen. Hi, Kat. Hello. Hi, Bearwitch. Hi, Kels. Hi, Almighty. How are y'all doing? Wait, I'm sorry. They didn't say sorry. She just said, wait for me to her friends and blasted off. I would have thought that people in the Netherlands were like, wait, are you in Norway? I would have thought people not from the United States had more respect than that. I don't know. Hi, Mia, you too. What y'all get up to? Hi, silly. All right, I'll share my weekend first. So, Saturday, it was very leisurely in the morning time. We got dunks delivered to us. Then we showered and we got ready. And we went to 1 out of 2 of our hobby stores that we were going to visit for Dungeons & Dragons, TTRPG stuff. We were going to try and fit both in the same day. And we said, well, honestly, they're on, like, we would just be driving a lot. Because they're within 20 to 25 minutes of us, but one's in one direction and one's in the other. So it didn't make sense for us to go all the way down, then go all the way back and back by our house. So we're doing our second hobby store this coming weekend. Schnapp, thank you for 2 months. Welcome on back. Thank you so much. Make sure to fill out the PP form, you legend. Y'all, thanks again for the hype train. No Feral Monday today. Come on, stop it right now. Lizzie, how are you? Chad, hello. So this is the one that we went to that's kind of close by to Boston. It's like a part of the city, but not city. It's hard to explain. If you're from Massachusetts, it's in Quincy. If you're not from Massachusetts, this is not going to make any sense to you. But TLDR, it was kind of a bitch to get in, and we had to park in a parking garage. But the parking garage was cheap. Like, for the first 4 hours, you only have to pay $5. So I'm like, okay, that's good. Because if we do end up going here to join a campaign, it's not bad. And where the store is located compared to where the parking garage is, it's like a 2-minute walk. So that's fine. The store was huge. It was like a department store, but filled with player guides and miniatures and paint and card collections and everything. And it was hopping. There was like 70 people in the store that day. There were people that were playing Dungeons & Dragons in these huge tables, like the kind that you see at PAX East, the kind that Critical Role uses with all the miniatures. That's what they had there. They had 10 tables. They were all full. Then they had tables in the back for card games. They were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic and Pokemon, and like you name it, they were playing it. It was stacked. Manager came over to us, was showing us source books and stuff. introduced us to some of the staff, showed us like the tables. They were so nice. So if we don't like the other store better, then we're gonna go and join this in and out campaign, which means like you don't have to commit. You can just go when you want to on Wednesdays. But the one that we're gonna be visiting this weekend has better times for us, even though it's a smaller store, but you don't have to pay for parking. It's literally just like a strip mall type of deal. And it's near our wedding venue. So it's near, just give people context. It's near, what do people call it now? Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play for football. So it's like around the same distance, but that one is a little bit more convenient on 2 accounts. So we're gonna visit this weekend, see if we like it. Oh, and the one that we went to this past weekend, super queer friendly. They had stickers and stuff up, so we felt very comfortable there. But yeah, it was really good, and I'm really excited to see where this goes in this venture. And we're gonna be making friends as adults. We're doing it. We're doing it. Maya, hello. How are you doing? Did we get any good rolls while I was talking about my weekend? Hi, Prudence. Yeah, it sounds really cool. There's a place in Chicago like that you've been to? Yeah, there's a couple around our area without directly going into the city, but there is a ton more in the city. I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't have a problem if they were on the weekend. Let me be clear. But all the stuff, maybe people have families and they're busy, but all of the campaigns we've been able to find from hobby stores are Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. I'm like, if it's in the middle of the week and we might be going, well, mine is 50-50 because if it's on a Wednesday, then I'm not on stream anyway, but Kip is working Monday through Friday. So if we're going after work, I want to drive into the city. I want it to be somewhat nearby, which is why I'm thinking that this second location might be better for us because they have times at 5, which Kip could not go to and I could go to, or 7:30, which we could both go to. And this one is, again, hop in, hop out, but maximum 2 hours. So, like, that's a nice little evening thing that's not, like, 5 hours long, but we could still come home from that, you know? Scottish, hello! How are you doing? Arena used to live in Quincy, so did my friend. Yeah, we used to go, oh my god, you might know that we used to go to Hot Pot. I don't know how many Hot Pots are in Quincy. But it was, like, right off of the highway. It had its own parking lot. That's probably not helping at all. But we loved it. I haven't been since, COVID. Hi, Omni. How are you doing? Happy Monday. Hi, Faye. I'm working on my first coffee still. We might do a second one today. What did everybody else get up to this weekend? Tell me. Anybody listen to Taylor Swift's album? I listened finally to 2 songs today that made me cry. Songs that you wouldn't think would make me cry, but I did. I was in Teddy's stream earlier today and they were talking about Taylor Swift and I went, all right, let me give it a listen. Let me listen to the 2 that I heard from TikTok. So I listened to Florida featuring Florence and the Machine. I love it. And then, what's the other one? I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Is that the second song? So I love Florida and I don't know why it made me cry, but I feel like the passion behind it. Like, Florida, bum, 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 bum. I don't know. It's something, I don't know, it unlocks something in me. And then I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I know is about a breakup, but for me has a lot of imagery about going through grief. And I felt the words with the understanding of grief, and so that made me cry. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of cool when the artist puts out something that they want to talk about, but you understand it in a different way that's meaningful to you. Does that make sense? And also, before anybody says anything, just in case, I am not like a ride or die Swiftie. I do not think that, she cannot be held accountable at all. I like some of her music. I don't like some of her music. I like these 2 songs, and I'm interested to see where the rest of the album goes. I feel like I've been seeing, like, so much stuff on TikTok and Twitter where people are, like, they think that she can't do any wrong, or alternatively, like, they're ripping her to shreds. I'm like, I'm in the middle. I don't know. I'm in the middle. Maybe I don't know enough. Oh God, Mai, I'm so sorry. How was work? And you restarted all day? Okay. You cried? Yeah? Stardew. Oh my God, nice! What season are you on for Gilmore Girls? I like to do a yearly rewatch of Gilmore Girls, usually starting in the fall. I don't know why, but I do. When they mention Texas, I'm like, really targeting me now, yeah. Oh, exactly, Bear Witch. I saw Florence and the Machine twice live. Florence is incredible. I cannot emphasize how much I love her. I love Florence. I would see her 5 more times. So that's what sold me. I'm like, all right, listen, if I'm going to start listening to the albums and like, where do I start? I'm like, no, I'm starting with Florence. We're starting on top, baby, because I know I'm going to like it, and I did. I love that her lyrics can apply to other life situations. Same. What's up, Scottish? Oh, and also Scottish. Scott T. One Scottish. What's up? And also, hi, Scottish 87. We're both here. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I get confused too. Always makes masterpieces, so Taylor Swift did a good choice. I agree with you. Yeah. I'm also in the middle. I didn't like the whole album, but there are definitely some songs in it that I really like. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that there was a big sweep that I've enjoyed in most of her albums since 1984, but that's not unusual for me. There's very, very few artists where I like the entirety of their album. I'm usually like a pick and choose song type of girl. But I heard a lot of like feedback about this, well, 2 albums, right? Where a lot of people didn't like the vibes, they didn't like the songs. And if it's any indication from the 2 songs that I listened to, it's not fan service. It's Taylor had a lot of feelings and emotions inside of her, and she just wanted to get it out. And that's why she had 2 albums. She's like, I can't pick and choose all these songs because they meant so much to me at the time, / maybe when I'm still going through. So let's do 2 albums instead. 1989. I said 1984. Sorry. Oh. Now look at social media or get involved in other stuff. That's so fair. Oh my God, Manda. Message me and I will give you. There's several of her albums that I just love. Love. Alex, thank you for 9 months. Welcome on back. We have a Twitch baby. Thank you for dealing with me for so long. I love you so much. I love you so much, my sweet friend. Can we please have a shout out in the chat for Alex like Stitch? Please, please, please. Alex, I hope you're having the most stupendous Monday. I hope that England is cheerio, mate. Was that? I feel like that was Australian. Anyway, I love you. Please don't leave me. Also, fill out the PP form. I want to get that over to you. You'll take those chances. Scottish versus Scottish. This is very much a therapy album for her. From my listening, lyrics are great, but definitely doesn't make me super happy when listening to it. No. Which is why I held off, because I kind of felt that going in, and I don't know why, but I had a knee-jerk reaction that I said, I don't want to listen to the album yet because I think it's going to make me cry. Fast forward to today, and I only listened to 2 songs, and they made me cry. So, I was right. I'm also, like, I'm kind of PMSing right now, so that probably contributed to it. Wow! Since Red, yeah. Hi, Crafty! Hi, Moonwitch! Hello! This isn't the album I recommend over all the ones that have come out since Red. I really liked a lot of her songs from the last album. They felt more catchy to me. But if I have to pick between the 2 that I just listened to, Florida is great. There's a breakdown in the song, like 3/4 of the way through, where I just love the beat of it, and I wish that was kept up throughout the whole song because it's my favorite. And again, I don't remember the lyrics, so I'm just gonna mumble it to you. I need to forget, so take me to Florida. Da-da-da-da-da, so fuck me up, Florida. And it's just her and Florence going back and forth, but like the beat of it, I don't know, it's just, woo, so good. Is it 4 yet? No. You leave it 4? A commissioner soon, so you'll study how to strip. Wait, what do you mean, Scottish? I need more information. This is exciting. The production isn't exciting as her other albums. It gets good and then ends too quickly. Yes, I will agree. Well, can I say that off of 2 songs? I'll agree with you. There are certain parts of songs where I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. Why wasn't this for 3 minutes? I normally feel like a lot of her songs keep up with the same beat, and the songs that I've been listening to change it up very frequently. But I'm not a Swiftie, so maybe she already does that and I just don't know. I don't know. Cassie, thank you for 22 months. Oh my god, so many resubs today. Thank you, Cassie. Make sure to fill out the form, sweetheart. Last month. Okay, just in case we need a recap, okay? I will look at it right now, even though we won't know really until stream is over, especially with all these resubs we just had. I am happy to announce that as of this weekend, we broke the 250 barrier for our PP. Can I get some PP in the chat? So, we unlocked the Violet After Dark stream. So, we're going to be getting that in May. We are in the last haul right now. The last haul, okay? As of this morning, 259 out of 300, okay? That's not counting these resubs from the beginning of stream. So, I think that we're close to 270 at this point. Let me try and figure it out. Give me a second. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we got 10 so far from today with Chaotix Tier 3. So I think we're at 269 before anybody else resubs today. Okay? So with that being said, this is it. This is literally the last stretch for 300. Okay? 70/30 unlocked for me for a year from Twitch. This includes regular subs and gifted subs. Okay? Lethal Company or some other like co-op game with Kip, marriage Q&A, and a Kindle giveaway from me. This is it. This is literally it. And then in May, we're gonna do all of the events from this month's PP, and Violet's gonna be napping a lot. Maybe popping like 5 Tums because the next few weeks I know are gonna be stressful for me. So thank you so much to everybody that's already contributed. Thank you to everyone that has been resubbing. If you want to, you don't have to. If you want to upgrade to a higher tier this month, and just this month only, Tier 2 subs give us 2 PP points, and Tier 3 subs, which is as much as 5 gifted subs, give us 6 PP points to put us over the edge. Again, this is nothing that you have to do. The option is there. I'm 99% sure we're going to hit it anyway, similar to last month where we have a lot of resubs that pop at the end of the month. Okay? So everybody calm down. Do it. Calm down. I'm thinking 270. I'm thinking, but we're so close. It's out. All right, Chaotic, can you remind me in like 10 minutes? I want to watch it with chat. Because this is a new cozy game coming out. And I think it's going to be big. And I want all of us to watch it together. And maybe I can react to it. And put it up on the YouTubes or something. This was too easy. I feel snack. Give me till Tuesday. You shut your mouth. Thursday. My partner and I literally slept all day on Saturday. I love that for you. I love that. Did you also eat in bed? Because that sounds incredible. Thanks, Chaotic. Thanks so much. It just makes it easy to love. Would you shut up? I'm right here. Don't talk about me nice while I'm here. Oh, speaking of things that I love that you will probably love. Can we peep my fit for today? Because this is the bookish shirt that I ordered recently. I haven't been treating myself. I've really been very good about not spending money on myself lately. Because I think that things can get out of control when you're depressed and anxious, where you're like, oh, I'm going to treat myself. And then it ends up treating yourself 3 times a day, every day. So anyway, I treated myself recently, and I need to show you this bookish shirt. And I do have the information in case you want to purchase it. Not sponsored or affiliated, but I love it. All right, are we ready? I saw this shirt and I showed Kip, and Kip was like, if you don't buy that right now for yourself, I'm buying it for you. So I bought it. I was like, this is Okay, so if you want the deets, they have a ton of other types of books. This is called blossomandbook.com. I saved their thank you card. They have apparel, jewelry, and stickers. All of it is like handmade stuff. It's really cool. They have a lot of stuff up there right now. I think, was it for Akatar? Hold on, let me open up a new tab. Yeah, the Mass Men collection, Sarah J. Mass. A lot of it is already sold out. I think they had a pre-order up, but there's still a lot of stuff on there too. They have sweatshirts, they have everything. And don't get me wrong, I really like Etsy, but this stuff is great. And they also have jewelry. They have night court jewelry. They have a Verlaris choker necklace. I was looking at those so that I could maybe coordinate it with my gold necklace here. They got a lot of stuff. Check them out. One of my friends sent this to me and I love it. I would buy from them again. Lucy, thank you so much for 10 months. I appreciate it. Welcome on back. Make sure to fill out the PP form. Lucy, you just pushed us over the edge today. By the end of stream, I'm trying to keep track right now. We're at 270 out of 300. We have 30 points left. I'm gonna shit my pants. I am gonna shit my pants. I don't think I'll be able to keep it up after this, but at least we hit 270 right now. We got 30 left, baby. We got 30 left, baby. Lucy enlarged our PP. Can I get some PPs in the chat? Your T3 sub renewed today? Yeah, no, it popped earlier. We got you included in that. Hi, Tommy. No, we didn't do it yet. We didn't do it yet. We did not do it yet. Chaotic, you said you posted it in the Discord, right? In the game section? There it is. Beautimus. Can I watch it? We can wishlist it already? Ooh, okay. Hold on one second. Do we have a launch date? Oh, just says coming soon. Okay. If you want to wishlist it on Steam, I'm going to drop the link because I want to wishlist it now before I forget, and then we'll watch the trailer, okay? This may mean that we're going to have to watch Lord of the Rings together because I may need more context. All right, let me get everything up and ready and then we'll watch the trailer together. So this is supposed to be a cozy new game based off of the Shire from Lord of the Rings. I think I signed up preemptively for a key, but it might have been for another game. So I saw the first one, but I don't think I finished it. I really don't know much. And I feel sad saying this. I hope that nobody judges me or takes away my nerd card. How we do? I don't know how loud it's gonna be, so bear with me, okay? All right, we ready?
There are many tales of Middle-earth. Tales of courage and brave deeds in dark times.
Hairy feet!
But that is not our story. For this is one of new beginnings.
Oh, it's beautiful! Decorating? Okay, okay. Gardening? Oh, and the seasons! Rudolph,
are
right?
our tales of the Shire.
Oh.
Hobbits really are amazing creatures.
Coming this year! Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, wishlist now, coming 2024. PlayStation 5, Xbox, Switch, and Steam! Yo. Okay, listen, as somebody that, like, again, I'm not super into Lord of the Rings. Don't take my nerd card away, okay? Here's the website if anybody wants it. And if you want the direct link for Steam, there you go. This looks freaking cute. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see me stream this. Because I think I want to. Sometimes it's hard with indie games. We don't know how much stuff is gonna be going on, but maybe I could at least do it for the first day and see how it goes with Twitch or something. Hi, French Kitty! How are you doing, honey? You're playing this? You're unwell? Next movie Sunday, Lord of the Rings? I mean, we might have to. Does anybody want to add like an extra movie night in? Will you watch Lord of the Rings with me? How long is it? Like 4 hours? Hi, Sarah's Die. Hi, Merca. Hi, Cat. Hello. Hi, Satan's right-hand lady. Hi, Yogi. Thanks for the lurk, sweethearts. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm pretty stoked about it. I don't know, but the voiceover guy sounded familiar to me, but I can't put my finger on where I've heard him before. I wanted to see the key features. Welcome home, Hobbit. Play as a Hobbit directly out of J.R.R. Tolkien's beloved books. Personalize your appearance and brandish your best Hobbit attire with an array of customizations. Decorate your Hobbit home and transform the cozy space with grid-free placement to position furniture and home decor to your liking. Discover the wonders each new day brings to Bywater as you settle into your serene homestead for much-needed rest. So there's food, fish, gardening, and foraging, harvesting. Partake in second breakfast or host a dinner party with fellow hobbits. And exploring. There's weather changes. There's story. So there is a story attached to it. Gain rewards through your story progression, so there will be questing. Meet iconic characters and familiar hobbit families to trade for upgrades to skill, clothes, home, and more. Join club missions to complete daily activities and help gain official village status in Bywater. Cool. Awesome. I feel like I definitely need to watch the movie to understand this, so I can be like, oh, I know you. There's 3 movies, all 4 hours each. Oh. Well, I don't have an extra 12 hours right now. Let me get back to you on that. Let me look at my schedule. Yeah, that's for reading smut. The full director's version. Let's do the first movie, maybe. It's a trilogy. You're a trilogy. Hi, local. Hi, honey. You say that like it's a bad thing, doctor. I have the ADHD. It's bad for me. It might be. French Kitty, it might be. I mean, they're not sharing that it is right now, but who knows? They could make an update to it that could be multiplayer. There's a Lord of the Rings trilogy and a Hobbit trilogy, right? Yeah, well, at least from the books, I remember there's separate ones, so maybe? Yes, yes. Hi, Forest Leaf Faye. Bad news, it's 6 movies. This is like Star Wars all over again, but Star Wars at least isn't that long. But I still need to watch Star Wars too. That'll knock it down a few hours. The original Hobbit animated movie. That's it? That's what Doc said too. Same, Violet. I can't. I gotta go off of the schedule, baby. I'm sure there's Lord of the Rings smut. We found out a few streams ago that there's Stardew Valley smut on AO3, so I would not be surprised. Though I will say I was very surprised at the amount of Stardew Valley. There was like 1,000 or 2,000 postings in AO3. And imagine how much there is for Lord of the Rings because it's been out for such a long time. We all start running around as hobbits and hang out in each other's homes. I love that. 11.5 hours of movie watching, this extended editions. That would literally be one weekend. The animated one, how long is that one? Rapidly pulling AO3 up! This wasn't a sign to go look! The abridged version? Okay. I know, Jen. I look back every week. Every week. There's like 2 stories on Tumblr. AO3 does not have a lot. I do recommend, though, the retelling of Fourth Wing from Zayden's perspective. That's my favorite. That's my favorite that I've read. The Hobbit 1977. That's when the animated one came out? The Hobbit 1970s. Nope, that's 1988, 1977. Oh, it's adorable. Oh, that's cute. Cool. Released it in November. That's neat. 90 minutes? Okay, I could handle 90 minutes. There's probably smut about frying pans. Don't look too deep. You did, Forest Leaf Faye. I love that. Hi, Han. How's it going? 1.5 hours? Okay. Where can you watch it, though? Because when I Googled it, it wasn't telling me that information. It was just bringing up Wikipedia and the trailer and then IMDb. So, oh, never mind. Prime Video. Prime Video. You can rent it for $4. You could also buy it for $8. At that point, I would just buy it. Okay, so it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. That is really, really good to know. Hi, Trixie. How are you doing, baby? There's You know what? Why? I'm very excited, French Kitty. I'm very excited. Because I'm in the know, but y'all know a little bit. And all I will say is that if you haven't already maxed out some of your friendships, you've got stuff to look forward to. If you have maxed out your friendships, you've got stuff to look forward to. Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's really fun. You are going to love it. And then I have something that I'm going to be able to show off to you. As I've mentioned in the past, we are not paid or promoted to be Palia partners. We just get information earlier so that we can be prepared with our communities or make videos on them. And so I'm in the know. Obviously, I can't share with you because I signed an NDA. But I just like to remind people that, like, I don't get paid for this, whether it's through in-game currency or in, US dollars that can provide for my bills, right? We're actually getting something that I get to show you tomorrow as a perk for being a Palia partner for the first time ever. So I'm really excited, and I hope that y'all can cheer with me to get a little something, which I think will be pretty cool. So I will be able to share more with you tomorrow. Thanks, French Kitty. I appreciate that. And as always, too, listen, I constructive criticism all around. I will never partner with a game if I cannot be fully and transparent about my opinions on said game. And obviously, like, in a nice way, right? I'm not going to say, like, oh, this game sucks. But if I'm concerned about something, I'm going to voice my concern about that. I'm going to give them feedback in a nice way. And they've been lovely so far. And our new CM has been really nice so far, too. So here's hoping. Fingers crossed for a nice 2024 with Palia. Aw, thanks, Schnupp. Hi, Silver, we did. We screamed. Are you excited? I asked chat if we should stream it when it comes out, and everybody said yes. I get paid in exposure. Look at these exposed. I almost said ankle. Elbows. I got an A in anatomy. I want you to know that. Darzog, how are you doing today? Yes, Friday is Kindle Day. Are you excited? I love that you can carry our voices too. Yeah, which is why I say to you, like, if there's anything super pressing, I'm sure that I've probably already reported it to them. But still, I think it's a nice go-between between y'all and us in the community and the devs that can, you know, do something about it. Hi, Simmer. Hi, Rach. Hello. Show us some guns. All right. Basham. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my definition now. Oh, no, there she is. Okay, wait. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that little line. Ugh. Takes so much out of me. From lifting my dogs. Golden high! Let's go, Nat 20, baby! Those are outlawed in many states. Do you want tickets to my show? Golden, how's your day? How was your weekend? Was it in People Anatomy? Yes. Unfortunately, Anatomy and Physiology, and I got an A.
Hi.
Who's coming on in? Jake! Hi, sweetheart. Thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, party people. If you're new here, hey, hi, hello. My name is Violet. I'm super queer, and I'm super happy that you're here. We're going to be playing Stardew Valley today on our solo farm and having a lot of fun and accosting people. How you doing? Thank you for the follows. Do you spread lies once again, Jake? Helene, I promise. Everything that Jake said is fake. But, like, if it wasn't, and I did like to dip my Oreos in water, hypothetically, of course, would you stay? Hi, Nathan. How are you doing? Oh, my God. Hi, Pumpkin Spice. Hi, Art Main Sims. Hello. I love it. I find it iconic. Listen to me. You cutie patootie. Why'd you do this to me? Hi, Deanie. Of course I would. Okay, then Jake was telling the truth. I don't even have Oreos anymore. This was like 3 years ago. That's how I preferred them. I would dip them in water because I feel like it would be more chocolatey. It's like dipping it in like chocolate milk, but it's water. And then you don't have to go to the store and buy the milk. You know, you could just run the tap water. Anyway, if it's fair enough, I'm in therapy, so. Why not milk? I'm lactose intolerant. Yeah, Sosha, I've tried my hardest to be tolerant, but I'm still intolerant. We all ask that. Silver, did you like it? I hate going to the store. Same. Why not other milks? I mean, honestly, I do use almond milk all the time. Vanilla almond milk. That's a really good question. I don't have a good answer for you. The big package with 4 stacks of... You don't? How many stacks come in yours? Do y'all have like 1 stacks? See, now that you put this image in my head, I'm thinking it's like a Pringles can, but instead of the Pringles in the can, it's just Oreos. I'm definitely intolerant, let me tell you. Yeah. Yeah, when I say I'm lactose intolerant, it's like 50-50, and it was always with milk and ice cream, but cheese, for whatever reason, fine. I have no issues with any types of cheese. So, you don't like milk. My grandfather didn't either. My grandfather used to dip his in tea, like, I guess really just Lipton black tea with a little bit of milk and sugar. He used to just dip his Oreos in there. Lactose-free milk, yeah. Have you tried Nippy milk? What now? You can only buy 1 stack at a time? 1 stack? A sleeve? That is disrespectful. Jake, I think y'all should be taking a page out of the French Revolution right now. They just don't want one? Yeah. Cheese doesn't have a lot of lactose in it because of the process. That makes sense now. I can explain the cheese. The proteins change when it's cooked and heated too. Wow. It's some cheese, cheesecake, and ice cream. Okay. Yeah, the last few years, milkshakes. Oh God, I was getting to the point where I was having milkshakes 2 or 3 times a week. And like, it was starting to get to the point where 75% of the time it was bothering me. At the very least, I would have an upset stomach, like bare minimum. And I went, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I know that there's alternatives and dairy-free ice cream. There's like almond milk and oat milk ice cream now. Like, I could do it, but I'm lazy, so. Yuki, no! Yuki, how are you doing today? You need to riot for more Oreos, that's what I'm saying. And you suffer through it, yeah. That was like me yesterday. I kinda pushed it, but I was fine. I had loaded waffle fries yesterday with some sort of cheese on it. It's like a mystery cheese, right? And bacon. It was incredible. But they put a little bit more spice on it than I was used to. So I'm like halfway through my waffle fries and I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm already getting like full on heartburn, like behind the chest bone, the chest plate heartburn. Like, okay. And I'm like, let me just get like a few more bites into me, then I'll take a Tums. I pushed it way too much. I was fine. I took 2 Tums last night and I'm fine today. But I was like, I'm suffering, but it tastes so good. We got another nat 20. Who got a nat 20? Norvella, let's go. How are you doing today? You get up out of that rock. You got to treat yourself to something good today, baby. You got to do it. Even if it's lactose free, yeah. It's good. Oh, it's expensive, yeah. Whipped cream. Wow. Interesting. Sharp cheddar is supposed to be not as bad if you have lactose intolerance. That's what I heard. And I actually prefer sharp cheddar for the taste, but maybe you're onto something now. Not just lactose intolerance. Wow, okay. Oh, interesting. Any kind of milk to make the ice cream. Cool. Here's a max. Right, exactly, Tommy. Didn't we talk a few weeks ago about, what was it, the cheese caves in the United States? Because I was like, y'all are lying to me. And then we went down a rabbit hole of looking it up on Google. Y'all don't know about the United States cheese caves. I implore you. It's a fun rabbit hole to go down. Open up Google one day and take a look for yourself. The cheese caves. No, the cheese caves. Cheese caves. It's real. Yeah. Yeah. Starzog, thanks for the biddies. Thank you, thank you. I like sharp cheddar because I can use it to cut fish. In general, fermented things have less lactose. Okay. But what's fermented? Okay, wait. Is cheese itself fermented milk? Is this a silly question? Discuss. Methane in the air, it's so bad for the environment, I bet. Field snack, no! You saw a TikTok about the cheese caves? Katie, I love that. Not silly, but yes. Okay, thank you. I've learned so much today. Fermented and aged milk, depending on the type of cheese. Okay, so once again, since we're on the topic of cheese, I want to know who had the great idea one day that was like, I like milk, but you know what? I want milk to be hard. Let's leave it out for a few days. Let's put it in a cave and eat it afterwards. Like, who had the idea for some of these things? Think about toast for a minute, right? Who thought, oh, you know what? I like bread. What if we made it harder? Am I the only one? Anyway, I'm neurodivergent. You couldn't tell. Oh, hard cheeses. Okay. Lactose intolerant people tolerate certain types of yogurt better than others. Cool. Cheese is a wine of cow juice. Savory fudge. Rhode Island. Neither a road nor an island. Discuss. Mike Myers is the best. How awful it tasted at first. Hi, Tay. I want milk to be hard. Is the exact moment I joined. I'm sorry. Most discoveries like cheese and liquor are accidents. I don't know if I love that or hate that. They went hungry and they took a chance. I want to give them a little smooch. The cursed cheese into this conversation that comes from Italy and France. I'm afraid to ask. I don't even know that song, Chaotic. Rach, what if it's both? What if you're like, this smells good, but you get deeper to the cave and you're like, oh, this is terrible. like cottage cheese and they went ahead and ate it anyway? Maybe. That whole thing, though, is cottage cheese is that you either love it or you hate it. And I don't know if anybody remembers TikTok a year or two ago where that girl was like, with cottage cheese and mustard, and everybody's dipping their veggies in. And I'm excited because I've always been of the belief that if you need a dip to eat your veggies or the healthy food or whatever, whether it be ranch or ketchup or, you know, whatever you want to put on them, I don't give a flying fahulahay. And most doctors don't either. Because if you're putting cheese on your broccoli or ranch on your carrots, guess what? You're still eating broccoli and you're still eating carrots. So I commend her for getting an entire new generation to try and eat veggies in a way that's fun for them. But also I was like, I can't do cottage cheese. It's the texture for me. I cannot do it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Smoked cheeses, yeah. Is the dominant for the gene, even though it's not as common in the population. That's wild. Huh. Let's smoke it. Hi, Pookie. How are you doing? Hi, Mumsy. Hello. With Frank's Red Hot and black pepper, weird comfort food for you? Really? Interesting. So here's a question, because I feel like one goes with the other. Do you also like blue cheese dressing? Because I liked the taste of blue cheese dressing, but I would eat around the blue cheese chunks. I would usually dip my wings into it or like some sort of chicken in there, but like I didn't like the chunks of it. That used to freak me out. All good. But I like cheese curds themselves. Like if you've ever had poutine, I like that. But not, I need my liquids to be liquid and my solids to be solid. You know what I'm saying? Congrats on the Nat 20 roll. Let's go. We got a lot of Nat 1s and Nat 20s today. Hi, baby. Darzog, thanks for the 100 biddies. Imagine dipping broccoli and pea pure. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Hi, Lost Time Machine. Welcome on in. You love blue cheese and chunks. You don't like cottage cheese. Okay. Is it like the flavor profile for you think? You're not opposed to it, but your grandma loved it. Oh, slightly allergic. Okay. I know, Nightbot's really having a time today. They're like, I have all the power. I love poutine. I like to make it at home myself with shredded cheese on top instead of cheese curds. And I like using, it's turkey gravy instead. I don't know what type of gravy you're supposed to use with it. And then we also do it on top of tater tots. And then sometimes we add bacon bits on top. We haven't made it in a while. Maybe I'll do that this week. Ooh, okay, Kat. Do that now with blue cheese dressing? Yeah. Jen, what the heck? Does Nightbot, like, is Nightbot okay? Nice job. Can I try it? Is Nightbot dead right now? No. Okay, fine. I'll take the 14. I had a 6 earlier. Give me my advantage. We did. We watched it live on stream. Everybody's super stoked about it, myself included. We're definitely going to play it. Yeah. I almost teared up. I was like, this is so sweet. Cottage cheese looks gross. Yeah. It's not for everybody. But also, if you love it, I'm really glad that you love it because it's healthy. And you can put it in a lot of things. It's similar to applesauce, which if you didn't know, is a really good swap for some things in baking and cooking. And the same thing with cottage cheese. It's a nice swap for some things in baking and cooking. Oh, thank God. Field snack. Everybody eat field snack. It's in your name. I got 78% today and I was kind of worried. Please line up for our snacrifice today. Oh, no worries on. How's it going? You like it, Darzog? Yeah? Hi, Chickmonk. Hello. Hi, Sim Shady. How are you doing? You see Akatar. Fantasy book bestie. Hi. If you're new here, Sim Shady, you or anybody else in here, I'm wearing my new bookish tee that I got today. We are big readers in here today. Big readers. I haven't finished ACOTAR fully. I finished ACOMAF. I gotta go on to book 3 of the series. I am halfway through Iron Flame right now for Fourth Wing. Those are my 2 big favorite series right now. And then Serpent in the Wings of Night, I did finish the duet. So I guess I really like, 3 big series right now. But I'm also a voracious reader. I read anywhere between 3 to 5 books a week. And I do have a Goodreads if you're interested. Yeah. I love to read. Isn't it cute? Yeah, it's from there. Thank you, Kels. Yeah, from Blossom and Book. Not sponsored or affiliated. One of my friends sent me to their website. My friend Allison, who y'all gotta know. Y'all gotta know Allison. She was talking about it on stream, then sent me the website link. She's like, I got a couple. Check them out. I'm like, okay, I got this. And I want more. I really want the Valaris necklace, I think, or the Night Court necklace. I think it would look so pretty if I layered it with this necklace, personally. You cease! Why? What about that cheese? You still haven't got to Iron Flame. You're in the middle of the Zodiac. I downloaded that because it's free on Kindle Unlimited, but I haven't started it yet because I'm like, oh my god, there's like, what, 9 books in the series? How many books have you read? Hi, Taco! How are you doing, bestie? How's your weekend? I love Allison. I love Allison. Since you left school, you just haven't been able to get yourself to get back into it, and that's so fair. When I left school, I immediately went into teaching, and I was still very much in my dystopian era when I was teaching. And then when I left, I was borderline dystopian, then kind of started already getting into more dark romance. And now I would say I'm in my dark romance and romantasy era. I mean, I have some other things that I'll read in between that too, like straight up romance books are fine. I've been starting to get into some like historical romance as well, but TLDR, just easy reads right now. And I like that. I've read the classics. I don't need to read them anymore. I love them. We're going to have Teacher Violet this Friday. We're going to do a lesson plan for 1984 by George Orwell, which I love. But I want to read what I want to read, and that's okay too. We don't gatekeep in here. All reading is valid reading. You don't want to make other people sick. Good call. On book 5, so more than halfway through. Awesome. I've been hesitant to start that because I started a few months ago by Jennifer Armentrout, which I think I need to figure out how to pronounce her last name. I don't think it's Armentrout. From Blood and Ash series. And people have told me it gets off the rail because I'm like, shit, I love the first book. But there's a lot in the series too, and I really wanted to continue that series. I want to continue ACOTAR. And there's a 3rd series that I'm in the middle of too that I can't remember. I'd like to finish one series at least before I start a brand new series like Zodiac Academy. Oh my gosh. Hi, KR. What's a dark romance? So it's very much something that, I mean, the literal interpretation is it's just a dark romance. Whereas a regular romance, you might see cute, like meet cutes and might be on like a college campus or a small town, you know, meet and greet type of thing like that. Dark romance is what it says. So usually it revolves around like, I don't know, bullying or secret societies or stalkers and the like. A nice example of a dark romance would be Haunting Adeline, which is not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of trigger warnings, which I now read trigger warnings as my menu. So yeah, it's very dark, very deep, usually very spicy. That's how I feel too, Lauren. I don't care how you read or what you read. I care that you read. Yeah. 400 miles today, Darzog. Oh my god. Take care, sweetheart. Be safe. That's always how you have heard it pronounced, Armentrue? Okay. Cool, cool. Me too, Jen. I just need time. I need time. Dark romance to Bridgerton and back over to Credence. Yeah, so this past weekend, you want to know what I read? Here. So I'm still in the middle of Iron Flame right now. I'm still in the middle of Iron Flame. And I'm like 56% of the way through. Spoiler free. I finished part 1, which I think was chapter 36. I had to take a break because I was processing what just happened. And I was like, I need a break. So I read this really, really cute, a little spicy novel after that. I want to bring up for you, but now I can't. I have a hair on my nose from Charlotte, and it's driving me nuts. It's called Night Shift by Annie Crown, and it was absolutely adorable. So it's a college romance, okay? And our main female character works overnights at a library. She loves reading. She loves reading romance novels. And the star basketball player needs help with his poetry class, so she agrees to tutor him, and it goes from there. And it's a lot like will they, won't they? A lot of miscommunication. It's a short read. It's 250 pages, but I loved it. I thought it was really cute. I really, really liked it. And then what else did I finish this past weekend? Oh, I finished Shadows So Cruel, which is the Court of Ravens series, book 2. It's a duet, and I loved it. I loved it. But yeah, if y'all want to see what I'm up to with reading, what's on my TBR, what I've just recently read, check out my Goodreads. I update it fairly frequently. I'm already one screen with you, Kels, and I don't know what awaits me, and I'm nervous. But also, I'm pissed. I'm pissed that I let TikTok scare me away from reading Iron Flame because of all the negative reviews. Maybe if my mind will change in the next 50% of the book, but like, I have really enjoyed it so far. I think it's on par with Fourth Wing for me. Like, I'm not pissed at anything. Like, I'm pissed, but I'm not pissed. Does that make sense? Like, some of the things that happened in the book made me mad, but I think that was the reaction that Rebecca Yarros wanted us to have. I wasn't mad for the sake of being mad. And if I had, we'll talk about it when we do like a full review of it. I think some people were upset at the lack of redacted, which makes me mad because it's like, besties, I get it, but Jesus Christ, let the story unfold. And I know why it was done purposefully. I'll have to share more when I finish. I have so much I need to say. Why, yeah, I want libraries to have a sleepover, please. And reading other things in between. Yeah, you think so? On communication and trust. I think so, Kels. Yeah. Yes! Oh my God, that was all over TikTok. Okay, so TLDR. This was an author that changed their how they identify online, like multiple times. And it's so sad. So the author is white and pretended to be various POC authors, trans authors, queer authors, etc. And we're switching gears over the last 5 years. And they were writing really good stories, I think fantasy or romantasy, that dealt with POC characters, queer stories, etc. Like, they were starting to really come up and up. And somebody found out, oh, hey, no, you are similar to this author that was removed years ago for doing the same thing. Yeah, their pen name, thank you. And it's like, what? I cannot fathom what makes people want to do something like that at all for like numerous reasons, you know? Hi, Violet. Hi, Trish. Hello. It's been messy because listen, in a lot of the books that I read, the author themselves maybe, I don't know, it's like a white lady, but they write POC characters brilliantly. They write queer stories brilliantly. Why pretend that you're something that you're not? Like, what did they think was going to come out of this? And then it enrages me that we find ourselves so often in these circumstances where we finally have stories for us that we can see ourselves represented in, and it's from somebody that's a terrible, horrible person. It's so frustrating. I just want to scream, you know? Hi, Shelby. Hello. Iron Widow. Yes, Scottish was talking about that from a few months ago. Yeah, so upsetting. Shed an eye on the book publishing industry. Yeah. They had historical issues with being transphobic and homophobic, which is part of why they were writing under a pen name in the first place. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I caught some of that this past weekend. And then there was this big book convention in Denver called Readers Take Denver. Rebecca Yaros was there. A ton of our favorite authors were there. There was like either 100 to 300 authors. And it was a bad time. The authors were treated like absolute shit. The readers were corralled into like areas. It was taking hours to go and see the authors, okay? But they only had 4 hours each day. Like, you couldn't hit up anybody that you just wanted to. And it was a mess. And a lot of people are saying they're not going back again, which is just really sad that, I don't know. I would love, obviously, to go to a book convention. I never ended up signing up for the one that's coming to Boston just because, I don't know, I still thought the ticket prices were so high, and especially if I want to buy books there and get books signed. Like $500. I just can't justify that for a hobby of mine. I just hate how, like, commercialized and how capitalistic everything has become. And I feel really bad for the authors. And I hope that whoever ran Readers Take Denver, you know, really gets some karma coming to them. Yeah, 100% chaotic. And it's like, but that's the thing though, is like, but why? Because I still believe, and I'm coming from, you know, a different perspective here. I believe that you can write the stories that you want to see. And there are lots of people that do so in the right way, and they consult with people. They hire consultants when they add different types of things that are written into their books. You know, like, it can be done without lying. It just makes me sick. Greatest Moon. That's correct, Silver. Thank you. Chicago! Oh my God! Jen, if you meet him, you gotta send us a photo. Oh my God, that's incredible. You gotta tell us about everything. That's one of the big ones every year. Yeah, like, that is like the Mecca convention. So, yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. I'm so excited for you. You have to prepare so much. I've heard that he's an absolute sweetheart in person. Like, an absolute sweetheart. Kip and I may go to the Rhode Island Comic Con this year because there's already like a stacked group of people that are going. But I'm trying to keep an eye out because I'm like, if Neil goes to that, it's done. It's a done deal for me. It just stinks when it is. It's usually in November and I'm like, oh, it could snow. But I really like the convention center itself. Rhode Island Comic Con. There it is. We haven't been in a while. I think the last time I went, I was in my Daenerys Targaryen cosplay. Yeah, that was Kip's first convention. It was that one that I handmade myself. Hi, Christine! How are you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, let me look at the celebrities that are attending right now. Charisma Carpenter, which y'all will know from Buffy and Angel. Ernie Hudson. Giancarlo Esposito, who I've already met at 2 different conventions, and I loved him. He was such a sweetheart. I'm sorry, what? Hayden Panettiere is going? Okay. Kellen Lutz is going! Kellen Lutz from Twilight? The Eggman from Twilight? The guy just fucking carrying around hard-boiled eggs in the first Twilight film is going? Why? Can I bring him hard-boiled eggs? You think he'd enjoy that? That's all. The rest are coming soon. That's all I remember him from. I was like, yeah, the Eggman. Christine, I hope you're having a good lunch break. All right, speaking of, I gotta take a pee break. When we come back, we will actually get into Stardew Valley. My BRP question to you, if you haven't already answered, what did you do this weekend? I want to hear about it. Let me know. Isn't Jasper going too? He wasn't listed for the Rhode Island Comic-Con. But, like, he might be. He might be. But yeah, let me know what you were up to this past weekend. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'll see you soon. Hello, I am back. All right, what are we up to? Ooh. I want to go to the West Coast. How many pillows? 2. I was thinking about getting a body pillow, though. I'm a side sleeper. I really can't sleep on my back anymore. I feel like if I sleep on my back, 2 problems. Number 1, I get nightmares. I don't know why. And my mouth is dry because I guess, like, if I lay on my back, I breathe through my mouth. Like, you know? It's not pretty. It's not cute. Hi, Soul Soul. Angel Bean, hello. Congratulations, honey. Oh, my God. I hope you had such a nice birthday. And congratulations on your engagement. Hold up. You got 7 tattoos? You got to explain. Where'd you get them? Please don't. I feel like a lot of my friends right now are getting tattoos, and I'm like, should I get my 2 that I've been holding off? But also, money. Sandfest. Your hotel was booked solid. I hope it went by fast. Teleport. I know. I want the same. Allie, how are you? Your son's soccer game's awesome. You read 3 books this weekend. Very nice. You went to a going away party for a family friend. Did a lot of sleeping. Aunt Flo's about... Me too. Have we all synced up? Have we? Mine is due this week. And I'm like, please, I got big plans. Hi, Dawn. Ton of good zoos here. Awesome. Yeah, Kip and I frequent 2 zoos every summer. Like, no matter what's going on, we always get to our favorite zoos. And one of them is the one that y'all love. It's got the deer forest where you can feed the deer, and the goat petting zoo. It's my favorite. Why, Automod? To be used as a body pillow. No, they're like a furnace. You don't understand. We will start the night off, okay? Kip falls asleep. Every couple has one person that falls asleep immediately and one person that's up for hours. Kip is the one that falls asleep immediately. I'm up on my phone or my Kindle reading to lull myself off to sleep. This is nothing new. It used to be TV for me. Now it's books. Anyway, Kip is a furnace. In the wintertime, it's great. As it gets warmer out, I can't. So, like, we'll start off snuggling. And then as soon as they're passed out, I, like, have to, like, remove their hands and their body. I'm like, baby, can you turn over? Like, it gets too warm. Like, I can't breathe. 2 within a month. Oh, okay. I got you. Silver, you should do it. Oh, that's wonderful, Forestly. On your left side, me too. That's my preferred side. I'll do it on my right side, but the left side for me is my favorite. And I think it's because it's like, obviously I'm right dominant. So to be able to hold my phone or my Kindle and have it nestled in the crook of my pillow is really nice. The Roger Williams Zoo. Yeah, it's beautiful. So wait, hold up. Simmer, are you from around here? Anybody from the New England area, Massachusetts area? So we'll go to the Roger Williams Zoo. And we will go to, naturally, I can't think of it right now. Is it called the Mendon Zoo? Southwick Zoo in Mendon. Southwick Zoo is the one that has the deer forest. That's the one that we go to. The prices are always really cheap, and it's a really good time. It's so much smaller than the Roger Williams Park Zoo, but I feel like I like it better there because of the certain things that they have to offer. And they have such a great gift shop, too. I always grab something. You know that zoo? Yeah. You too, Rage. I love it. It's so good. You're on the opposite side of the U.S. Okay, well, if you ever come to Boston, you make enough heat for the both of us to usually unpeel ourselves and turn the other way. Yeah. It's really good. I very much recommend it. Possum, thanks for the lurk. Hi, honey. Hi, Ryan. Ryan, are you going to the summit this week? I feel like I know, like, a lot of people are, but then I also got confused because I am in Lil Simsy's Discord server, and I have, like, the announcements turned on, and I thought that Simsy was going to the summit this week, but she's not. I guess she's fundraising Through streams this week? Tulsa, wow. That's incredible. The best zoo I've ever been to was the San Diego Zoo. I don't know if stuff has changed, but when I went, they still had the pandas there from China. And they were babies. They were so cute. They were just rolling around. It was a great experience. It was huge. Oh my God, it was huge. Oh, I gotcha. That makes sense, Sewell. That makes sense. Yeah. Poor Snap. I'm glad to know that she's been doing well, though. I'm glad to know. And that's nice, too. Like, I'm sure that Simsey's been anxious about it, but she's also trying to prioritize so that she's not spreading herself too thin. Yeah, the gift shop is great. So good. They closed down. Oh, no. And they never opened back up after that? That's sad. Pals, before we get into Stardew, let me just go over the schedule for the week so that y'all are in the know in case you're not in the Discord. If you want to hop in, you can. So today is solo Stardew. We are not doing Magical Monday with Shella today for our co-op farm because Shella is going to the St. Jude Summit tomorrow. I don't know if Shella's streaming herself today, but we both agreed, like, let's not do anything wild today. Shella might need to pack or relax or whatever so that she has a good week. Tomorrow we have the Palia update, which is really exciting, and I wish I could tell you more, but you'll be able to see it tomorrow. And we might have a potential sponsor tomorrow and or on Thursday. So with that being said, as always, it's a great free way to support the stream just by leaving up a lurk or clicking any links in the chat for these sponsored segments. I'm waiting for other sponsor money to still come into me, so I'm trying to pad my schedule where I can right now without spreading myself too thin. On top of that, for Thursday, more solo Stardew, and then on Friday, we got 2 big events coming your way. Teacher Violet, where I will be doing a lesson plan to teach y'all about 1984 by George Orwell. Introductory, don't worry. And then also, we will be playing for the first time ever on this channel, Baldur's Gate 3 with surprise mods that y'all put in Discord, which I have no idea about, and Kip is going to install for me. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm overjoyed. So all streams this week are going to be 6+ hours, and I hope that you enjoy the offerings in the channel. Yeah, I am too. I'm very excited. Shella says she would stream today, but whenever she's available to. I gotcha. Okay, perfect. So she doesn't have a hefty VOD if anyone is interested. Cool. Okay. Aw, thanks, Simmer. I appreciate that. Thank you. Me too. Kip actually, I didn't reread 1984 yet. Kip just got me the Audible exclusive one, the cast audio with the Spider-Man guy, not Tobey Maguire, the other guy, not the most recent one, the other guy. Why can't I think of his name? He used to date Emma, whatever. Anyway, Kip just got that for me. So it's only 3.5 hours long, so I'm going to listen to that starting tonight. Thank you, Andrew Garfield. Yeah. So Kip got me that off of Audible, so I'm starting that tonight. As if I've never read 1984. I have, but it's been 10+ years, so I want to familiarize myself with the material before I teach it to you. Also, the 1984 lesson plan, I never taught it, so we're making it up together as we go. I'm going to try and find some stuff online that I think I could utilize for it, but just know that I never taught it to students. But it will be an introduction in case you haven't read 1984, but I'm going to try and make it easy for those that have read it as well. Oh God, yeah. Are you flying over, Ryan? Because Jamie's leaving by car tonight. Well, I guess technically Tuesday morning at like 2:30. Oh my God, thank you so much, On. Yeah. We're going to test that out probably Wednesday, and by we, I mean Kip, so I'll keep you updated. Yeah. Hi, Megan. How are you doing? Yeah, the one that I wanted. Kip is so good to me. Kip is like, what do you need? I'll make it happen. What do you need, baby? I'm like, okay. I am baby. It is me. I am baby. The audio version, it can be, for sure. What? I literally just made sure that all of my mods were good to go yesterday. Please hold. I had a red come up and it's like, you need to restart Smappy. I'm like, okay, I'm restarting it right now. What's gonna hit red? We okay? Okay. We're fine. We're good. Oh, thank God. Okay, we're good. We're good. You never know. You take a chance when you play with mods in Stardew Valley. I was nervous. Soul, thank you so much for the lurk. You are flying over an hour to the airport and 6 a.m. flight. Damn. What time are you landing? They're doing great, Maya. They are thriving. They are having the time of their lives. Kubu has found his new favorite stick in the backyard, so Kip's been going outside to play with Kubu like every few hours. Kubu plays with the stick, then gets tired, comes inside and naps. Charlotte has been running around outside to chase the leaves that have been blowing around because she thinks they're animals. The babies are very good. Hi, Curie. How are you doing, darling? Welcome back, friends, to Valaris Farm. We are on day 17 of summer, year 1. Hopefully by the end of today's stream, we will be in fall. We've played 19 hours and 25 minutes so far. We have almost 15,000 gold right now. We are currently dating Astarion. I'm trying to woo Karlak and Gale because they're both in the game too. BG3 fans, unite. And I did add some new mods last week, which y'all, I think, saw once maybe. Hi, Rebel. Did you hear the joke about the germ? Never mind. I don't want to spread it around. You shut your mouth when you come in here. Oh, my pickaxe is ready. Okay, we have a lot of stuff going on today. So, we're trying to work on our house upgrade right now with Robin. And I already visited the saloon, right? Oh, that's right. We had our first experience with the green rain last stream. That was funny. It's Sam's birthday. There's a thunderstorm tomorrow. All right, we got some stuff to do. Oh my God, there's so much to do. Lewis, thank you so much for the spaghetti. How did Lewis give me spaghetti? Like, I don't think that he makes that where he is, right? Hi, Happen, how are you doing? Oh my God, do you like it? Here, hold on. Let me show you. Let me... mods, baby. Exclamation point SDV mods in case you want to also download your mods like me. Kind of cottagecore theme. And then this is my farm. It's still a work in progress, but I have a lot of hidden mushies around. And I'm really enjoying it. I really like it personally. There's just Big Boy. I think it's pretty cute. What do you think Sam would like for his birthday? I think I'm gonna give him a singular cheese. Is that sad? Like one single cheese and that's all you get. You need more mushies? I think we all need more mushies for sure. Lewis, forget about it. All right, why the heck would I water there? This game sometimes, I swear. Yeah, I'm gonna give him some of my cave cheese for his birthday. He'll love it. Is this music loud for anybody today, or you can still hear me pretty good? I feel like I haven't played it in a while, so I'm like, is it too loud? A tad loud, right? Okay. I thought it was me. Put it down just like a little bit. How's this sound now? Better? Listen, I want to be able to hear the music because it's a bop, but I also don't want my ear holes to blow out. Forestly, apparently it's not new. I just never knew about it. We got some nice twerking going on here. Better? All right, cool. We gotta try and come back here earlier one night because I have such a surplus of milk right now and I want it to all be golden cheese. Golden cheese. Oh, I took that out by mistake. I'm gonna sell that. Okay, good. You know what? I also want to make this easier on myself. I want to make a gate on this side. So I don't have to keep going through. There we go. So I don't have to keep going up and around over here. Because I always go and see my cute cow babies first. Perfecto. I'm so happy that we're all set with fish for the rest of the month. That is so delightful for me. All right, let's make our way over to... Well, let's see where Sam is at. Sam is at home. So I think I'm just going to walk over and see Sam. Then we'll go and see Clunt. Pick up some treats along the way. Oh my god, we got a lot today. What did you try on your Switch? The hopping? It didn't work? Really? Did you upgrade your watering can? Because you need at least one upgrade to be able to hold it. So maybe that could be why? The winter music is your favorite? I think the fall or the winter music is my favorite, if I remember correctly. Oh, I went to the wrong house, but we got a cutscene with Haley. I always clean under the cushions. It's your turn this week. You're being childish, Haley. I do the vast majority of work in this house, and you know it. Oh, it's that new farm boy. I forgot that I made myself a boy by accident because I was so excited to get into this game. You're a farm boy! He has a name, you know. Yes, it's you over there with the face. I bet you'll understand my point of view here. Okay. Moms are fighting! I'm really sorry to involve you in this, Vi. Haley is complaining because I asked her to clean under the cushions. How could it possibly be so dirty under there? Why not have this be your one weekly job? Oh, we picked the wrong option. I wanted Haley to love us. I guess this can be my job every week, then there won't be any reason to argue over it. Duh. Duh. Haley's for the girly pops. Oh, how many cutscenes am I having right now? I hear Alex treats boy farmers better than girls. We'll have to put that to the test. Hey, Dark, how's it going? Good to see you. Oh, right, we're in Emily's dream right now, right? How can we see into her dream? This is still weird to me. It could be Christine. It could be. Do we have any idea when the 1.6 update's coming out for the Switch? I'd be scared if I was showing up in your dream too. Hey. Why are you here? I don't know. Why are any of us here? You want to kiss about it? I mean, I see rainbows and they're screaming, kiss me. Fine, I'll put my lips away. It reminded me of something. Kissing? Even the tiniest, blandest, simplest light holds a wonderful secret. Now I know why you're here. It's a sign. Is it a sign to date me? Oh. Is that a rejection? I disappeared myself. That's terrible. No word on it yet? Gay dream, gay dream. She instantly fell asleep after that. This blew my mind the first time I saw it. A week ago. Oh. There's something about Vi. Our destinies will intersect. Yeah, they will. Over and over and over again. I gotta go. Sorry, I got people to see. Things to do. Hello, birthday boy. Allow me to gift you a golden cheese. Hey, 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 you remembered. Now that's what I'm talking about. You're welcome, I guess. Hi. What did you say? It's 11:10 already. My goodness! Okay. She can intersect me anytime she wants. Ain't that the truth? Tell her your sign is neon. What do you mean my sign is neon? What does that even mean? Trying to intersect with my future Emily. Y'all are incorrigible. Thank you so much for the follows. Welcome on in. Woo! We got the steel pickaxe. Awesome. So we can go back to the mines at some point, which is good. Yes, I want to put those there. I'll put that there, and then we'll put that there. Fantastic. Oh, I need to still save up for my third backpack slot. I just realized that. But I want to do the house upgrade first. I think that's way more important. Who's coming on in and being nice? Oh my god. Good. Thank you so much for 11 months. Tier 3, baby! Y'all, thanks to Good right now. Do you know what our PP is up to? Do you know what our PP is up to? I've been keeping track. I'm going to write this down so I can continue to keep track today. If my calculations are correct, from the beginning of stream to now, we are at 276 out of 300. I will throw up. I will throw up in your pants right now. Good, thank you so much for the tier 3 resub. I hope that you've enjoyed here almost an entire year. Make sure to fill out the PP form. I got some goodies to sell you. Sell you? Send you. Chapel Roan, oh my god. We were listening to her last night, hanging out with pals. I love her. What's our PP up to? Maximum? 276. We're doing it! Tell us about your PP. Okay, so my PP is at 276 out of 300, and at 300, we get a 70-30 split from Twitch for a year, which means that instead of 50-50, I get more money in my pocket, you get to give me more of your money, and Jeffrey Bezos can go to heck. We like it. It's wins all around. We're getting edged, y'all, please. And we have until the end of the month to hit 300. But, like, if we hit it early, I'm not going to complain. If anything, I will open up a bottle of wine. And it's not on our PP calendar, but we will be doing a celebration stream when we hit it. I'm staying optimistic. When we hit it, we're doing a celebration stream, okay? A celebration stream. All of these I can sell back. I don't want them. Okay. 10K, 450 wood, which is what we've got. So let's go over to Robin's. Let's upgrade. Oh my god, more cutscenes. How many more? Hasn't actively participated in Twitch for 3 years and we still blame him. It's so easy for him. It's so easy. Manifest? Yeah, I think so. My dad and I are just testing some soil samples. Oh, from the green rain? Don't be shy. We could use a hand, actually. I got 2 right here for you. Maybe 3. Don't question me. Could you watch this beaker for me? I'm gonna grab the last batch of samples. Absolutely. Oh no, is Demetrius gonna talk to me so I won't be watching the beaker? Stay focused. Damn it. Thanks for helping out, Vi. You're welcome. Don't bother me. Mario's a good kid. She's my special little girl. Oh, that's awkward. I wouldn't want anything getting in the way of her bright future, know what I mean? Oh my god! Are you accosting me? I'm not trying to date your daughter. But if I was, fuck off. Just some food for thought. I'm gonna throw Demetrius in the garbage. Demetrius is like, I have a very specific and particular set of skills. Hey, sorry about that. I hope you found something to talk about while I was gone. Yep. I was just telling Vi about the soil samples we're testing, you liar. Actually, your dad was being weird. What did you say to him, Dad? Yeah, that's right. Sweat it out. Okay, we were talking about you, sweetie. I wanted to say a few things to Vi about you, but I didn't want to embarrass you. I shouldn't have lied about it. Yeah, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. That's okay, Dad. I understand. We should get back to work before these samples crystallize. You got tendies again? Can I have one? Chaotic enjoy. I'm probably gonna be grabbing some food for myself in a little bit. Okay, upgrade house. This is our first upgrade. I got 450 pieces of wood, 10,000 gold. Let's do it. I'm finally gonna have a kitchen. I'm probably gonna have to redecorate, but that's fine. Now, can somebody please remind me? Oh, hi, Linus. Here, let me give you that. You're so welcome. Have a grape. Have a good time. Do we remember how far down I got to the mines? Once again, I'm thinking about the co-op farm with Shella, because I don't think we got to the bottom, right? No, only floor 65. Okay, let's go in. Let's do it. Oh, dear. One thing I want to make sure that we do have toggled on is the one hits. Okay, good. You can check if you hit escape. Oh, I should have tried it that way instead. That would have been the way to do it. That would have been the way. Stop hitting me. God, there's so many on this level. Oh! Oh! Did we get it? The ghost fish I definitely need for a bundle. That is awesome. I'm gonna throw that away. Amazing. We cannot lose the ghost fish. I don't even really have that good luck today, but somehow the luck is on my side. Ooh, I want to grab this while we're in here. Started raining here. Are you supposed to have rain like the rest of the week? We're having rain on and off this week. Not great. Are you serious? I don't need sap. Ford's Garage today and you love their burgers? Cool. Sounds delicious. Can you get it sent to you or no? Assumingly no. I mean, with all the prices now, oh. DoorDash really is the worst. All of them are, like, they're all the same. Giving it to you. You wouldn't take it from them? I'd be like, here, I was thinking of you. You're as wrinkled as a grape. Y'all imagine. Oh, I can't. Damn, Daniel. Throw hands with DoorDash last night? What happened? 90s all week? Oh my God. No, I'd take that. It's in this weird in-between weather right now in Boston and I don't like it because some days are really cold, some days are really warm. And I just feel ill. They're better to their drivers than Uber Eats. Okay. But I just wish that they would see half of the money that I spend on there. Because it's just going to corporate and then that's what irritates me and pisses me off. Hold on. My left ear is ringing right now. Like very, very high pitched. Oh, it's bothering me. I don't normally have tinnitus. Okay, well at least it's not my headphones malfunctioning. But that was weird. Forestly, thank you for lurking. Been doing some of that while job hunting. And do you say that you make like better money with DoorDash compared to Uber Eats because of what they're able to offer you? Am I right, bestie? Never! Yeah, I'm just having some tinnitus right now. I don't know why, but I will be fine. They're mandatory. They make money on both ends. They get 30% of the sale from the restaurant too. Wow. No wonder some places refuse to sign up with them. Like, for example, at least in our area, you cannot use Uber Eats or DoorDash or Domino's. Like, they still have their own drivers. Which is just wild when you think about it. Man, saying to myself, I'm never gonna find the stairs. Come here, bestie. Oh, thanks. We made it to floor 70! I don't want this anyway. I think I'm gonna go back up. Actually, let me just go over to the community center and drop off my fish. Papa John's? Oh my god. Okay. That's wild. We finished one for the ghost fish. Oh my god, this is amazing. That drop rate was great. Dish or the sea, dish or the sea, dish or the sea. Oh goodness, I think I had something else I needed to drop off there, right? Yeah, this. Where did those ones? What just hovered? Oh, the rocks. It's a brick house. Combat Monkey, thank you so much for 52 months, you legend. Tier 2, let's go. Combat Monkey, you just enlarged our PP by a lottie. Thank you so much. Y'all, as of the beginning of today's stream, thanks to Combat Monkey, we just hit 278 out of 300. I will literally shit in all of your pants right now. Can we get some love and hype and PPs in the chat? We're on our last leg for 300, our last month. I'm really excited. Thanks for being here. Hi, Paris. Hello. Companies like DoorDash, Uber Eats, it was interesting. I think the premise of it is a really great idea, but it is very predatory. There's an update. What is it updating? What's in it? What's in it? I want to be a knower. Oh, knower. I want to know. I want to pick up what you're putting down. Remember where I was putting clay and stuff. It's got to be in here, right? Yerp. Yip, yap, yerp. What is this dish of the sea? It's for fishing. I'm just going to put this with my other food for right now. I'm going to have to enlarge that. I don't know why I've been holding on to some of this stuff. I feel like I really don't actually need it. I was going to sell these, but maybe I'll just eat them. Oh, good. That's lovely. Because I got all of the achievements so far, Bear Witch, for Spirit City outside of just the level ones. And that's going to make it so much easier and better, I think. And hairstyles, too. Facial options. Desk accessories. Okay. I'll have to download that post-stream today. Cool. Thanks. I used that a ton this past weekend. I am very excited. Come on, wackos. Aw, yeah. I thought the music was really loud, but it was just the Spirit City lo-fi game. Yeah, they auto-play the music, which is funny because I don't normally play the music through that. I'll have like a podcast or audiobook going. And it's jarring for me every time. Like, where is that music coming from? Oh, right. The game. The game. Yay! I leveled up there. That's good. Oh! Maybe I should have got that. But that's okay. Give me an easy staircase, you cowards. Or not. It looks so good. We're definitely going to be playing the Shire game. Don't y'all worry. Don't y'all worry about a thing. Why are y'all running away from me? Come back over here. I just want to talk for a minute. And by talk, I mean eviscerate you to shreds. We're looking for a hole. Can I get some holes in the chat? Can we manifest a hole? Thank you. Oh, we already got one. Get out of here. We can get to floor 80 today. I'll be so happy. So much progress. Oh, there we go. Hi, Icarus. How's your Monday going, sweetheart? Get out. Get. hole. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to be leveling up with. I think I already leveled up with combat, but... No, it must have been combat and mining that I leveled up with. She's a rock star. I just reached level 21. Getting that passive XP is going to help. Yes, definitely. I think I just hit 21. Or I hit 20. One of those. Last night? Either way, I'm very excited. Because that will be just a nice way for me to have maybe my 3rd ever Steam game finished. Ooh! So many options. Unlock all those colors of the spirit companions. Oh, with money? I'm going through and doing everything. Like, I want to unlock just everything. So I finished the wallpapers and the flooring last night, and that basically took all my money away. Which is fine. We need one more floor. Then we'll be on floor 80. Ooh, you know what we should do today if we have time? If we're able to hit floor 100, we should try and do the Terraria sword. Obviously, spoilers for those of you that don't know about this, but there's a thing you can do and a thing you can get in the game. That is a crossover / nod to Terraria, which is really cool. Combat boot. Oh, yeah, no, we want this one. Neato. Let's just go home. I would love to pick that up today because I think that would be fun. Inventory full. I got nothing? I'm putting my boots away. These boots were made for walking. What's up, Grim? You beautiful cinnamon roll. Come over here, you wonderful kumquat. How is your Monday so far, darling? I hope it's as magnificent as you are. I said what I said. Damn, I really did clean out and take all of the wood. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Aged tilapia roe. I feel as though I should probably hold on to one of those at some point, but... Oh, that's gonna take a while. We'll just go to bed. Part of me really kind of wants to make more. I feel like I should probably have 4 of these set up, but... Maybe I could make 3, because I'm not even really using this right now. Yeah, I'm not really using my kiln. So what would it take for me to make another furnace? 20 copper ore and 25 stone. I'd have that. Right? Yes. Put that in here. Because 2 just is not enough for me. And then obviously we're going to make it cute. I'm going to choose the white one again. Yeah, that looks good to me. Oh my god, we got to get to bed, besties. I'm going to pass out here. So somebody was trying to make a Stardew Valley Nuzlocke, which is basically just like if you end up passing out, you have to delete your save. You have to start over. And I said that would be fun to do, but knowing me, it would last maybe 3 days at a time. It would be it. Miner or geologist? I'm going to go with miner. At least for right now, I'm going to go with miner. What's up, Panda? Hi! You haven't had the chance to catch a stream. Oh my god, it's good to see you! Yeah! So we're doing a lot of cozy variety now. We're very much in our Stardew era, but exclamation point games if you want to see what we've been playing lately. We don't really do a lot of scary games anymore. We like a lot of simulator games over here now. Mine orgyologist. Brain why? Yuki, why? Nutslock instead of Nuzlocke? I actually do say Nutslock. That's my problem. I can't be tamed. Nor can I be changed. But I don't think y'all mind. Maybe you do mind. Why am I stuck in my home? Cat, can you please get out of my way? Get out of my way. I can't leave. Get out of my get out of my way. Get out of my way. Thank you. Jesus Christ. What else do I have to do for... Okay, so this is copper, steel, copper. Oh, I don't really care about that. I'm probably not going to upgrade it. Steel. What am I going to need? 5,000? Yeah. Well, let me just do everything that I have. Okay. I'm going to try and upgrade my hoe today. I think that's a good call. Possum, what's up? Somebody say clip that. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Why does everything funny need to be clipped in this channel? Did you ever think that maybe I'm just silly? Y'all are like, yeah, Violet, we think that every day. Well, shut up. Maybe they like stickers? Who does? I like stickers. But I can't commit to actually using them. Oh! One of our tappers. Oh, good. We needed that. Don't we have another tapper? Did I only put one tapper up? I swear to God I had a second one. Because I'm pretty sure I need maple. Right? Can I get out of here, please? I know I need the oak resin, but I'm pretty sure I need maple. And where is this tapper that's on? Okay. So this was oak. Oh. No, that's not what I want. Right? Yeah, that was already oak. So whatever the brown one is. Maple, yeah. Okay, that's what I want. Hopefully. Thank you for the standing desk. Well, get up. Get on up. Ow. I just ran my toe over with my chair. Please hold on. Oh my God. I'm fine. I'm fine. Your silliness ought to be celebrated. No, it's a liability. I hurt myself. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Somebody say clip that. Maybe don't. Maybe we shouldn't. Just for the sake of it. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Me too, Dawn. It's really been very helpful. Especially with, stretching and standing and making sure I'm taking good care of myself. Where is this other egg? Oh. How was that so sneaky? Why did you have a sneaky egg? When in doubt, clip it. Chris, hi! How are you doing, bestie? Good to see ya. All right. We don't have much going on. I'm going to take some things over to the community center. I'm also going to try and upgrade my hoe for show. And I really probably should do that today. Right? Yeah. But let's go down to the beach first because I do not have enough money. I'm going to have to fish her out. Actually, I bet I could sell this stuff. I'll go here too. Chaotic, how was lunch? Oh, yeah! Take care, sweetheart. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. We love silly clips. Cat pie? Oh, cat, please. I swear the cat is my demise. Lucian's like, I heard you talking shit about me. Now you can't leave your house. I tried to upgrade my hoe. Ended up in the ER. Never can leave home without your trusty hoe. I have a name. Violet. Thank you very much, Combat Monkey. Unbelievable. You think you know somebody. Yay! You got a lot of money from that. I'm impressed. Hi, Capri. Hello. Esperite? Was that maybe one we don't have yet? Oh, nice. Oh, we got 2. Cool. Hello, yes, can you please upgrade my steel hoe? Thank you. I still hate you, but only marginally now. I'm really glad that y'all put up with me because at this rate, God, I don't know who will. I don't know who will. Winter foraging. Awesome. So then we just have fall foraging, exotic foraging. I've got one more of you. You know what? You know what? I think I'm gonna cheat. I think a bitch gonna cheat. I think I can warp over to the desert. So I'm trying it. Oh God, I didn't think it was gonna put me in the cavern. Oh my God. Never mind. Abort mission. So if you click Skull Cavern, they literally deposit you through a gaping hole into the cavern. I'm going to Sandy's shop because I don't want to get killed. Okay, great. So I got a cactus fruit. I just need a coconut and then we're done with that. Give me your coconuts. Can I have some coconuts in the chat? We got one. See, we don't need the bus to be ready. We did it. I'm giving you my coconuts. Hi, Scattered. Nice moment for you to join in stream. How are you doing today? I hate the Skull Cavern. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like it, but I am not one of them. I just do it because I have to. Yay! I was giving you my nut of cocoa. My coconuts. Ooh. Thank you. We could work on the construction bundle. That'd be fairly easy to do. My coconuts. Still need one of the quality crops. Still need the animal bundle. Goat milk. How do I buy a goat? Can I already buy a goat? Y'all, how do I go? How do I goat? Is that it? That's all I had to contribute over here? Damn. Need an upgraded barn. Thank you. So I need to upgrade my coop for the dino egg. I need an upgraded barn for the goats. God, everybody needs my attention. Will nobody think of me often and fondly? Hi, Good. It's too much for me, besties. It's too much. I'm sorry, what was that? Nuts giving? What are they giving? Sorry, that was a really terrible joke. That was a really, really terrible joke. My coconut. So I don't need any of these. We already lucked out. Yeah, we should probably go to the mines today. And then if we have any time left over, I need 200 stone. How much wood? 10 hardwood and... What was my last one? How much regular wood do we need for the community center? Does anybody know? Dawn, I'm so sorry because same. Hi, Kate! Hello. I'm being concerned today. I think the rest of the house is getting sick. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hopefully just colds. Hi, Nathan. Have you tried shopping at your local goat mart? Not since I played Goat Simulator 3. That's why they gift you stuff in the mail. Okay. 198? 198. Like 200? 200 wood for the community center? Something like that? Mayhaps? How much wood do we need? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if I go in here... Oh, I guess it will tell me. Never mind. I'm so helpful. Boiler room, fish tank, crafts room. This. I need 200 wood, 100 stone, and 10 hardwood. Okay. I figured it out. I'm a learner. Thanks, pals. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. I am gonna take a break. I am gonna come back with food. I feel pretty good to keep going while I'm eating, but in case my mind changes when we get back, we will do some words with stream. And then continue on with Stardew. Okay? Listen, life's too short not to cheat the way you want to in a video game, because you're still playing the video game and everybody can go kick sand who doesn't agree. I said what I said. I'm sorry, I've got nothing constructive to contribute today. Goats are us. Okay, what's your favorite animal pun? That's the BRP question for you right now. Think of an animal like a chicken or a goat, and what's a really funny pun name you can give that to them? So, like, for example, if we bought a pig, I would name it Pork Chop. Regrettably, but I would. What are some funny animal names? Let me know. We'll be back. Woo! Hello, we are back. I just got my period, so today's long stream may not be a long one, pals. Monkey? Oh my god, that's so cute. Ask him a chicken named Nugget. That's always a go-to. Crispy bacon. Cows named Steakums. Merrill Sheep is such a good one. Billy. L'Orange. Peking. Hello, Willie. How are you doing? Well, gets ready. Yep. You and Kel's gotta get ready. Oh. All right. Do we mind if we do, because I'm definitely gonna need my strength for today. Do y'all mind if we do words? Y'all mind? Y'all mind? I know you don't mind. Let me get it up and ready. Then, I can eat something. We can all hang out, then we'll get back into the dew. I'm just so hungry today. Anybody have days where you're just like starving? It's been me lately. Hi, Captain. How are you doing? Good to see you. All right, let's head on in. You have 2 chickens on your farm, Kylo Hen and Sky Balker. Shut up. That's so great. Refute. Did I do that wrong? R-E... Oh, I put an extra E. Further. Damn it. Yuki. Hurt? Well, yes. That makes sense. Why is this one hard? Why is level 1 hard? I mean, like, we got it, which is fine, but like, why does this one suck? Soup Himbo for life. Hi, Neerlin. You excited for the Paleo update tomorrow? You're? Really? I'm not mad at you, Bear Witch. I'm just surprised. Please don't be this word. It is. Don't worry. All right. Okay. Well. Okay. Well. Did we get that before? We got something else that I remember was German-centric, and I was like, oh. I don't know if it was Führer or not. The hell is this one? Ryle? Is that not what? Not how you spell it? What's up, Logical? Hi, honey. Oh, somebody already got Mill. Miller? Is Rel a word? Oh. We're struggling today. Mm-hmm. Balls is not on this one, surprisingly. Hi, Elu. Yeah, Chris is here today. Chris, is your brother back with sports? Or is football more of like a fall thing? Maybe he plays a springtime sport. Thanks for the follows, y'all. Welcome on in, sweethearts. Mmm. Hi, SMG. Andrea, thank you for 14 months tier 2. Let's go, baby. Make sure to fill out the PP form. Andrea, I've been keeping track myself today. Thanks to your tier 2 resub, friends. Oh my god. We might hit it this week. We are now currently at 280 out of 300. I am going to scream. Thank you so much for the longtime sub love and support. Thank you for supporting me during this PP. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Is it H? I think it's H. I can't believe it. I hope so too. This is our last month. And we're gonna have a big celebration stream, but also your girl is gonna relax because it's been a very stressful last few months. Because I want to make sure that it's worthy and valuable for y'all to support me with this PP push. Especially since it's so, like, out of my control. Oh, it was H. You say Ripper? Riper. Place. That's a good one. Sometimes I need y'all to start it off for me, then I get it. No, the H is fake. Yeah. The H is fake. H is fake again. What do they have against H's? I can't think of any others. We already got it, though, which is good. Body, hello. Hi, sweetheart. Me too. I'm making up half the words I'm using today. What the hell is that word? Apparently we didn't get it. What is Leah? Ilya. My brain's not here today, Andrea. Tuber. Rube. Me too, body. Turn. Turn around. Burn. Fuck. Front. Damn it. Nut. Newt. Fruit. Is the bee fake? The bee has got to be fake. Okay, don't use the bee. Okay. I need to use the bee. There's 2 R's. Fuck. You think so? Oh, there is. Yeah, for nurture. It's a type of sandwich. I figured I'd try it. I didn't get any this round. Untruer isn't even pinging on Google right now. There's untrue, but they're saying untruer is a misspelling of the adjective untrue. I've never heard of the word untruer before. Is it just me? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's already 5. I don't know if I can do this, y'all. Are you calling me a liar? No, I'm calling you an untruer. Chrissy, I think they're full of crap. How are you, sweetheart? Oh, this is where we're going down. That word doesn't exist, but untruer is existing. I'm doing good today, honey. Thanks for asking. We need like 1 or 2 more. We got it. Let's go. Jen. Was a good one. Singe? I-N-G-E-S. What do we think the hidden letter is? The U is fake? Okay. harder today. We usually get it to like in the 20s. Damn. Oh, we get it? Nope. Damn, that was hard. That was so hard. Let's do like a few more so I can still finish up eating. We'll be back to Stardew Valley soon. Mm-mm. I wanted to try it. Boner! Sorry, Kubu. I screamed boner and Kubu barked. Boner jams. You know? You know? Hi, Maya. Nothing to see here. I was like, what the hell is kern? Is that a made-up word? Sorry, my alarm went off for Magical Mondays to eat now. And I'm like, I forgot to turn that alarm off. All right, what's going on with this one? Tramp, let's go. Captain, I have a name. Thanks. I know what the last one could be. We all got it at once. We already did. Yeah. That was good. It was good. Hi, M. want to know what that last long one was. Did you like it, Bearwitch, or did you hate it? I put my seed in the game. Oh, I can't type yet. Damn it, I forgot. Hi, half size. That's what I think. It's too tart, right? Bearwitch, yeah. Kip loves it. I don't know why. I don't know how. Also, you got a case of it? Can you put some sugar into it? Like, does it taste okay if you do that? Oh, how's this? I hope you've been enjoying. Happy Monday, honey. I should have followed that. I don't know why I was putting in a D word there. One of the ends has to be the fake letter, right? We all agree on that? Mmm. E-E-N-A-N-T? E-E-N-A-N-T. Tenant? Did I spell tenant wrong? Is it an E or an A? How do I spell tenant? That sounds good though, Bearwitch. Hmm. Do you put it into like regular water too? Yeah, Bearwitch, if you'd like to. It's literally so hard today. Is it my brain? Are y'all having problems? Is it me? Route. Okay. Torp. I'm making up words now. I'm doing it. Peru. I mean, that's not a made up word, but. I think the P is fake. I think the P is fake. I have to burp. I'm so sorry. Repo, the genetic opera. Retro. It's gonna be our last one, then we'll get back into the game. Thanks, pals, for the lunch break. Is it Britannia? Hello, welcome on in. Thanks for hanging out with us, y'all. Well, we took just a brief break from Stardew because I was hungry. No, part of me is like, I'm still hungry. But I don't have anything that I can easily make. I could make a frozen pizza, but that would take 20 minutes. Let it settle, girl. I know, baby, I know. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining us for literally one of the worst sessions of Words with Friends I feel like I've ever had. Because it was so confusing. How dare they do this to us? All right, welcome back. We're in the mines. We're going to be mining. We yearn. And I still want to try and hit the bottom of the mines. We got some good luck today. Oh my God, don't come over to me. Oh, okay, bye. Oh, we needed that. We needed that. We needed that for the community center. Oh my God, we're doing it. Get away from me. Your mom's a hoe. Oh, good. We're going to have some gold on these floors. That's fantastic because I want to continue with my upgrades too. You had a snack. You did some chores. Now back to Stardew. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I really haven't been gaming on my off time lately. I've been reading, listening to audiobooks, and cleaning, which is really good. I spend enough time at the computer as it is during the week, y'all. I need to get up and leave. I'm really proud of myself. She is doing the thing. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries, you bat thing. We're gonna send them to therapy. What soup did you get? Peanut soup. You got nut soup! Congratulations! Oh, I love me some nut soup. Ooh, ramen. I like that Kels was so excited that she put it in caps for when whoever gets ramen. You don't just get soup, you get the soup. You got it too? Yeah, yeah. I find that one and what was the other one that I enjoyed? So something of Brian. So something of something. I enjoyed that one. Those two. But the other ones, like just the pure sketch comedy, I didn't actually find funny. I think a lot of it is British humor, which is gonna hit or miss. Like who's the group that did oh my God, what is it called? The shit. The hold on. I'm gonna think of it. My brain's not here. I'm gonna think of it. It's this YouTube viral clip of Old Greg, but the comedy troupe behind it is very British humor, and I watched other things from them and I didn't like it, but I loved the Old Greg segment, like the various different segments of Old Greg. I thought that was hilarious. Bouquet, residence lady of the house speaking. We used to watch that all the time. You ever drink Bailey's from Shoe? Do you love me? Are you playing your love games with me? So that was Hyacinth, but I can't remember the name of the show. I used to watch that with Daddy all the time. And then the department store one, what was that one called? Was that Keeping Up with Appearances? We really enjoyed that. That was good humor. That was funny. Oh God, I gotta eat. Why are there so many of you in here? Screw off. Come here. Okay, thank you for listening to me at least. Are you being served? That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. That was really, really good. Hi, Curvo. Keeping Up Appearances was Hyacinth, the bucket lady. Yes, yes. Yeah, you're both really funny. Really, really good BBC shows. I don't know what they originally aired on, but when I was younger, they used to be on syndication with, I think it was PBS. That's how I was watching them. And obviously, years passed from when they had first come out. Really good what now? Shows? What did I say? Oh my God, look at all this gold! Holy shitballs! And I found the stairs over here. Oh my God, yeah. Give me my good luck day. There's gold in them there hills. You watch them on PBS too? Yeah. Hey, get out of here. Ugh. Do you mind? Oh, I didn't have to eat that second cheese. Damn it. Oh, thank you. Good. I meant to do that. I'm 99% sure I also need this for the community center. My inventory's full. I'm gonna make your head full. Yay! We got to floor 90. Ooh, level 6 sword. Ooh, yep. I'll just take that right there. Thank you kindly. Okay, let's go over to the community center, see if I can drop off some stuff. Can't remember the name of the character, but she was always talking about her. Yes, I can't remember her either. She was the one that had the brightly colored hair. And she would say pussycat, but then she would leave off the cat. And that was part of the joke. I don't know how they were able to do that on TV. But again, British humor, I think is a little bit different. Yeah, I loved her. I always loved the gay man, which comes as no surprise to everybody. Which I can't remember his name right now, but he was an absolute delight. Oh, he was fabulous. And something I liked about that show too is like, hear me out, when especially shows that were in like 60s, 70s, 80s, right? In that show, you obviously had a gay character, but we weren't laughing at him, we were laughing with him. And especially of that time period. Really good. Fairwich, enjoy the lurk! Mrs. Slocum! That's it. Yes, Mrs. Slocum. BBC is in British What did you think it was? BBC. The only other thing I can think of is the British Beer Company, but I think that closed down. It was a really good, like, tavern bar. BBL, maybe? Y'all are picking up something that I'm not putting down. Mr. Humphreys, that's it. I think it was. Yeah. He's great. Blacksmith. Did I really? No, it was this one. Yay! Oh my God. Okay, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. I literally just need a gold bar. Okay, we gotta go and get this gold bar done. It will be back from outer space. Oh my God, I need coal. It's gonna take 5 hours. Ain't nobody got that time for time. Oh, I didn't put my mushroom away. Oh, I didn't need it. Really? What a pain. What else can I do? Oh my God, the blueberries. Do we really have nothing going on in here? I mean, I might as well make some blueberry wine. Hi, Amanda. How are you doing? I'm hoping Violet can figure out the last word. Oh. Carissa! Now, would you know that, sweetheart? Hmm? How'd you know that? Tell the class. Tell the class how you're a knower. You can, Forestly. I've tried it before, and I don't know if I like how it comes out. I've tried the half and half technique where you cook it half of the time in the oven, the other half of the time in the microwave, and I feel like that makes it crispier. Or a shower! Paris? I went to college in 2020. It doesn't help. Oh my God. Y'all really are too much sometimes. I hope you realize that. I hope that brings you joy. I spit my pop everywhere because I literally lost it. I hope you find it. I never did either. But some of us grew up watching the BBC, and I guess some of us grew into our own also watching the BBC. If you know what I mean, because I didn't until today. Cover in olive oil, fry, air fry. Really? That doesn't make it, like, too crispy? Because I would have thought it made it too crispy. All right, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you. Ooh, some other things grew today, too. Once again, I don't know why I haven't gotten any more seeds. Like, I have time. I should just do it for money. For money and notoriety, I should do it. Oh, I did that wrong. Your dad prefers sugar because he has to watch his sodium, and either works. You're diabetic, so you go salt. Oh my God, I didn't know that. Sugar, interesting. Okay. I go low on the salt because I like it. I like a lot of butter, and the butter that I prefer is already salted butter. So, makes sense for me. I bought low salt butter, or rather no salt butter the other week, and I went, why are you doing this to yourself? If you want to watch your salt intake, just don't use a lot of butter. It was awful. It was not a good time. Unless you have to do it, I would not recommend it. I grew up with putting butter on toast, like, Papa Violet would slather it on. You would think that there was cheese on top of it, but it was our butter. But Papa Violet loved his butter. So I was like, okay, well, I clearly need to do the same. And I was like, oh, dear God, you should not. Yeah, salted butter is the way to go. I was never a buttered toast girl up until last year. Now buttered toast is just, oh my God, it's everything to me. We make ours a little bit different. Kip actually taught me this technique, and it's gonna sound weird, okay? You need a toaster oven or a regular oven. So what you do is you will basically put the toast in the toaster oven as you normally do, but you're going to put the pure butter on top of it, and it's going to basically melt into the toast itself. You don't think it makes a difference? There's a clear difference. It is delicious. It's so good. I'm like blown away with how good it is. Truly and honestly. Hi, Krista. Welcome on in. Those are my Stardew Valley mods. If you need help finding anything, just let me know. Hope you're having the best day. Pretty much, you're browning the butter, yeah. But it doesn't look like you are because it still just looks buttered, but not burnt. Does that make sense? I don't know. I feel like that's weird. We finished the Minecraft. Nope, not the Minecraft. We finished the mine carts. Oh, and I got another furnace. Shit, I shouldn't have built the last one then. That's fine. I might put our furnaces in a different section. Yay! We finished another area. This is so exciting. Man, Minecraft looks different. What gave it away? Was that our first one that we actually finished? Was that our first area? Yeah. Right? Are you going to get the star? Yeah, that was our first area that we finished here. On our solo farm. Cool. Oh, you're so welcome. You too. Heck yeah. You know what? We haven't visited Astarion or Karlak today. Oh, we gotta go to the traveling merchant and Demetrius. Can I just give him some cheese? I'm not in the mood. Demetrius is by Robbins right now. We'll go visit him first, then we'll go and visit the traveling merchant. Hello, sir. Have this stinky cheese. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Forestly, take care. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Yeah, check in with yourself. Do you need anything? Do you need water? Do you need a pee? Do you need cookies? Do you want some glazed yams? Oh my god, they put Shella's legs into the game? Incredible! From all those squats she was doing. I'm really impressed. We got an eggplant. Oh, wait. Yes! Oh, yes! 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 Oh my god! Yes! Oh, I want that red fez. We got the cabbage! Ooh! Ooh! We were looking for this one. I'm so excited. It's in the, is it the dye bundle? Yes, bitch! Cool. Okay. Okay, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down! Oh, we got a bomb, too. Okay, I'm gonna go over to Clunt. Because I have some stuff I want to open up. That is so good! So we honestly might be able to finish this on time. You have the money, get the cookies, and put them in your house? It's a secret? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? I can get the money, but what do you mean put them in my house? Where? Where do I put them? I don't have my kitchen yet. Do I need my kitchen? Robin's still building my kitchen. Explain this to me like I'm 5. Okay, so that's for Gunther. That's Gunther. That's Gunther. I can sell that. I can sell that. Oh, I didn't give him one of these yet. On a table or something? Really? Okay. I trust you. I don't know if I have the money for it, but if not, I can get the money. What time does she leave? I might have cookies back home. Might have given them away. Golden, thank you. 900? I'll go fishing. Oh, we'll go fishing. Oh, shit. Or we'll have a cutscene. Do I have the wood skip? Oh, shit. I don't know if I do. I should buy it anyway, right? Yeah, that's me. I'm just enjoying this great weather. I'll enjoy it with you. I love the way you grip your ball. Hey, go long. I'm short. I can't. Oh, I mean, I'm trying. Oh, God, I fumbled. Nice try. Thanks. I'm going to be the first professional grid ball player from Stardew Valley. What? Number 1, what's grid ball? Number 2, you're really aiming very high. Very high. I already led my school's team to the regional playoffs. Now I'm just training and getting stronger so I can claim my spot on the roster of the Zuzu City Tunnelers. You just wait. I'll keep waiting. Still waiting. Do you not know the lore? Clearly I don't. It's like football. Wow, you're really arrogant. I think someone's a little jealous. Yeah, I hope that you go play skee-ball wherever you want, buddy. I'm out of here. Bye. Talking to me about playing professional ball. I play professional ball all the time. You don't hear me boasting about it. He's just a himbo with dreams. It's good to have dreams. Also really good to be realistic. Oh dear. Okay, we have to go back to the museum because I forgot that I didn't put any stuff in there. Ball is live. Baller, go home. He was trying to impress me with his ball playing skills. Well, he's gonna pick a different type of ball then because I was not impressed. Ooh, new achievement, treasure trove. Don't mind if I do. Oh, I got 9 pumpkin seeds. Oh, we got a new rare crow. That's actually pretty good. I am enjoying that. Okay, Willie is open today, right? We should try and stop by the bar tonight. Because everybody's gonna be there and then I can flirt with everybody. Take the mine off my list. Golden, thank you! I know, I was such a little biatch. Sometimes you just want to be feral, you know? It happens to the best of us. Willie, give me your goods. This is a stick-up! Okay, I can buy the woods. I mean, I can buy the cookies, but I need to buy the wood skip, too. You put the H-O in hopeless romantic! Chris, I have missed your humor so much. Holy shit, that was great. Alex is better than Shane. A piece of sea jelly is better than Shane. Thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. I want that on a shirt too. Chris, now's your chance. Make a merch store. You'll make thousands. Wood skip is worth it more than the cookies. The outcome of the cookies is random. Okay. So I will shoot for the wood skip, and then if we have any left over, we get the cookies. There's something else I can get rid of over here. Why do I have all this stuff with me? Get rid of the seaweed, I guess. You're copywriting it as we speak. Perfect. Okay, let me see if I have enough now. I should. And if I don't, then I'm going to blame Marnie, and I'm going to set her ranch on fire. You love that? I do too. Thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy. See, hold on a minute. Let me double check that I actually do need the wood skip though. It would be for the fish tank, right? I need the walleye and the tiger trout. So I don't actually need the wood skip. So I would just need the cookies. right? Yeah, because that would have been for the, like, exotic fish bundle, right? So I already got it, correct? Can somebody just confirm? I'll buy the cookies. I got it? Okay. Blame Marnie for everything. When in doubt, blame Marnie. She doesn't work anyway. We'll freaking blame her. Okay, so. We're here. I've got the cookies in my hands. I was told if I put it on something, that something's gonna happen. I don't know. Well, I gotta take my decorative lantern off, so let me just. Okay. That's on the table. Next to my books. You said something's gonna do I leave? Was that it? Was that anything else happen? I put the cookies on the table. Do I have to wait a day? Is somebody gonna be visiting me? Overnight. Okay. All right. So we'll wait till overnight and we'll see. What, is Santa gonna visit me? I don't know what to anticipate or to expect, but I'm very excited. I'm also incredibly nervous. Guess I'll have to put my decorative lantern away. Not my decorative lantern! Okay, so. If I really want to, which I do, let me be clear on this. Okay. Can I not? Okay, I can. Well, then I'm gonna do that instead. Oh, God. We're gonna fix the light so I can actually just have some more items on this side, which will be really nice and really cute. After years of rose bush planting, we're up to 20 bushes. That's awesome! How long does that type of stuff take to actually grow and everything? It takes a while, right? Yeah, that looks so much better. And then I can have more room for activities. I think I want a fish bucket, but I'm not completely sold on that yet. Oh dear, this is already all full. Oh, I did have cookies in here. Do I need all this stuff? I'm gonna sell some things. Because just, I don't think I need it. Your bulbs finally came up this year? That's awesome! Did they not come up last year? Our flowers bloomed really, really early this year, so my, my daffodils, my tulips, and my... Are they hyacinths? And my hyacinths are already gone. I'm kind of sad about it, I'm not gonna lie. And then one of our dogwood trees bloomed. The other one did not. Yet. And I'm hoping it's just delayed and it's not, like, dead, but we'll have to see. Depends on the size of it. It can take a while. Allie, please! A good bush can take a while. You're scaring new people from coming into the stream. You realize that, right? Do you realize this? What's wrong with you, girl? Charlotte's really having a time today. Okay, do we think anybody's here so far? I know Willie is. But I don't care about you. Oh dear. Why am I having so many cutscenes now? What up, Gus? Don't call me buddy pal. You look depressed. Just looking over last month's earnings and it's not looking very good. The worst thing, and I hate to say this, is because she's my friend, is Pam. She hasn't paid off her tab in weeks. But I can't ask her to do it. I know she'll get defensive and I don't want to hurt her feelings. I mean, it's your business, man. Oh, there she comes. Hi, cat. Hiya. Gus, I'm awful thirsty if you catch my drift. We're gonna throw you into a drift. Well, you see, you need to pay your tab right now. The saloon isn't doing well financially. It isn't? That's terrible. Oh. The self-awareness. You should be able to communicate with friends. Yes! Too real, right? Guess I'd better pay off that tab then. Once again, you need to set boundaries, yes, but also enforce them, which is the hardest part. You're welcome. Did I really do anything? Now let's get you that drink now that you've helped pay off my store. Oh my god. Lou, you are chug-a-lugging it today. Oh my god, get in there. Oh, all right. Y'all are really having a good time. Did this come out in the update? I literally don't remember them drinking before like this. Is this new? Is this why they don't tell anybody? Like, they have to get absolute blasted, and then that's why his shorts end up all over town? Marty, you deserve better. You deserve so much better than what Mayor Loser can give to you. Let's go talk to my lady. You can use a tapper to harvest syrups and other useful liquids directly from trees. Okay. That it? How about some cheese, Karlak? You didn't have to, thank you. You're welcome. I guess. How about mayo? You're so welcome. Gus, some mayo. Emily, you're so welcome. I'll give Marnie some mayo. Oh, Mayor, I guess I will. No, I don't want to drink it in front of everybody. All right, Willie. Demetrius already gave him something. I don't think Shane likes mayo, right? What's up, Will? Hello. Yeah, no, Marlon is like, oh my god, this woman. He loves her. Oh my god. You really don't get it, huh? I didn't realize that you didn't like mayo. I hate this. Oh my god, Sebastian doesn't either. I know Abigail doesn't. All right, so the younger ones don't like the mayo. Fine. Here you go, Clunt. It's your lucky day. This is a fun gift, thanks. Where the hell is Astarion? Why is Astarion not in here? He usually comes to the bar. Where's my baby love? I mean, I guess we could break and enter into Gale's house. Should we do that? I can't get this up. I don't have my hoe. Where? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yeah, I guess let's go visit Gale. Hi, Gale. How are you doing today? Oh, Chris, I love that. I'm excited for you. By Mistress Eyelids, could you please wipe your feet before entering my tower? Sorry, bestie. Sorry, excuse my temper. You trampled some dirt into my favorite rug. I could be your new favorite rug. Would you like to trample your dirt onto me? Also, alas, nothing a bit of prestidigitation can't fix. Okay, here, have my mayo. Is this for me? Oh, Vi, you shouldn't have. I love him! This is great. I can't get this up. I don't have my... Yeah, because it was a thing in the ground. Y'all, you gotta get your minds out of the gutter. I'm sick of this. Does Gale need earmuffs? It's kind of warm out, but maybe when winter hits, we could knit him Oh. I get it. I get it now. Would his earmuffs be our thought? Yep, okay. Here I am, like, completely pure, being like, yeah, we could get him some earmuffs. Maybe the Hat Mouse sells them. Why, is he cold? Okay. Good. 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 Well, since we're all on the same page now. Good. Fantastic. Thanks for being here, everyone. Mm-hmm. 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 There. There. All right, so we did the bars. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on everything else the next day. What's happening with our calendar? Where are we at right now? Oh, the Trout Derby is tomorrow. So where is the Trout Derby gonna be at? Because we had to go to a weird section when Shell and I were playing Stardew Valley Expanded. Is it gonna be over where the book merchant is? At the river. The forest. Where? Where? Leah's house. Okay. Okay, that makes way more sense. You excited about trout? Oh yeah, it really gets my fires pumping. South of Marnie's. Below Marnie's, just south of the farm. Okay. Floating down the water of life. Confined in a tube like a structure leading towards the train. You a poet? Aurora, I'm doing good. How are you? Violet's usually the one who says that and then surprised when chat gives it back. Because usually I feel like I know everything, and this time I didn't. I don't know what to expect anymore. So what happened to our cookies? Oh. Hello? Our house is finished getting built. I'm sorry. That is an extra long bed. Oh, that's right. I put the poly mod in. I mean, the entire town at this point could fit in this bed. I wanted to date everybody, but I didn't know if we wanted to have everybody sleeping with us. Because we don't have a choice now. All right, everybody, get on in. We have the room. This is like a 32 people bed. Okay, so question. My cookies are still here. What has happened to the cookies? Do I need something else to put that on? Also, I hate that this doesn't go with the rest of my house, but I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine. This still looks cute. Maybe I can put the TV over here on this side. I feel like it's just so squished over here. Oh, that's better. That's so much better. Is that better? Yeah. Looks good for now. Oh god, the wallpaper is hideous though. Woo! Paint the bed? I'll see, yeah. Let's see if we can do any changes to the bed. I'll see if there's the option. Hope doesn't have sound for you? Doesn't really? Oh shit! Amazing. Okay, wait. Well. So I mean, I guess I can paint it. Which one do we like more? I was using this one, but I feel like I like these two much more. I think I like that one for right now. I want to see what Robin might have for wallpapers because this is pissing me off in here. I don't like the orange. It's really upsetting to me. I don't like it. Demetrius. A fresh melon from your farm. What gives you the right to ask about my melon, sir? I'll give it to you, but I'm not happy about it. Yeah, it's probably on Twitch's side. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's take a quick break. I think I'm only going to be on for just a little bit longer, pals. My cramps are really starting to take over, and I don't want to be canceling stream tomorrow for our paleo day, so stay tuned with me. Let me go and pee. Everybody take a nice stretch break in the meantime. Hi, Squish, Magoo, welcome on in. Those are my Stardew Valley mods there. If you got any questions, you let me know, sweetheart. No, we did. We grew melons. We grew melons. I got a melon for him. Got a melon for him right here. All right, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, besties, we are back. Let's finish up this last Stardew Valley day, and then your girl's gonna go grab her heating pad and probably nap the rest of the day, because this is a doozy. Oh, good, my poppies also grew. Okay, so outside of the Trout Derby today, what else do we have going on? Your weekly lunch meeting. Do they always have them on Mondays? Chris, you are far too lovely. You stop this right now. No, I can give these to Astarian. Is that why I was growing them? Was I doing so for any other explicit purpose? I can keep the star fruit. Put the poppies in here. Don't I need one? No, I'm getting that confused with Shella's. God, I'm all full up now. Do I need to keep a summer squash for any discernible reason? Maybe I should just... I'm just gonna keep a couple of extra things. I'm way too nervous thinking I need them. I don't? They're not needed for any quests or anything? You sure? You positive? Who else is gonna be taking a nap today? I'm not even that tired. I'm just run down. Oh. Yes, please give me all the pats. I will take your pats. I will take your pats and I will raise you a sniff. Your boss is like that? Well, you know what? At least good for y'all. You get it out of the way on a Monday. And then you don't have to deal with it the rest of the week. Why did I water there? So I can kind of see that happening. Tommy, let's go! What's going on Friday? What's happening? Can you please not walk over here? It makes me uncomfortable when you do this. I think I'm gonna keep one of my rows and not sell it. Just in case I need it for something. Why is my cow trying to behave like a person? The maple syrup is done. Oh, I did take it off. There was one over here. I know I need another resin. I need another resin for a reason. You let your cows roam? Hell yeah, I do. We believe in a free society, Willie. Look, my cow likes to check out... Oops. My cow likes to check out the mushies. Araya does. Can I... Oh. Can we... Can you please? Thank you. A reasonable resin? Why, yes, indubitably. Hi, Maya. We're always winning here. You impressed with us? No, I don't know if I need the... No, I do still need the maple syrup. I got confused. You give me a hug if you could, I would appreciate that. I'll be okay. Nothing I'm not used to. Just sucks on a Monday, you know? You know? Okay. Oh, and I do need to pick up my steel hoe and bring Demetrius a melon. I knew I had a special melon for him. Is he at home? I'll try at home first for him. Oh, he's not here. Where are you? Demetrius, you are... Where? I think he's by the community center. He to the left of this area? Yeah. Would a cow with no legs be ground beef? Absolutely. One can only hope. Yeah, you better give me that good money for that, Demetrius. That was a pain in my butt. Okay. You said the Trout Derby is to the bottom? So, oh my god, there's a Starian. Hi, baby. You know, I used to visit that farm of yours at night. I could usually find tasty little snacks there. Squirrels, rabbits, the occasional deer or bear. Don't worry, humans are off the table. Unless you're offering, that is. I am! Bite me! I've got a neck for you. I'm your juice box. Please. It would bring me no more delight. Here, how about a flower? You want to be... I'm sorry, never mind. You want to be grounded as beef. Okay, I don't have any rewards yet. Well, I'm gonna get some. I still want to know how that lore would go with both Astarion and the Twilight universe. Oh, I got one! What's my first one? Oh, the tent kit. Wonderful. I want to get the hat. Felt a nibble. Ooh, some geodes. Hi, Deloria. How are you doing? No bears. Save the bears. The bears are fine. Your mom grounded you? For the ground beef joke? The neck meme? What's the neck meme? Which one is that? You destroy them all for bringing shame to the species. So how many times a year is the trout derby? This is delightful. I am! Bite me! Thanks, Golden. She's too feral. See, Astarion's really good with flirting, and Karlach is just like, here's how to do things in the game if you're interested. And like, don't get me wrong, that's really nice of her, but... Ooh, triple shot espresso! 2 of them? I wanted 3. It's only in summer, and then there's a Squid Fest in the winter. Where does the Squid Fest take place? Is it in the same area? Once a year for 2 days. Okay. It's pretty dope. Are there similar prizes? You're starting to feel exhausted. You're exhausted. Can I sell my fish to this trout man? Or do I have to go to Willy? Squid live in the ocean. True, but I didn't know if they gathered them and put them in the pond. Could be a thing. Gold trimmed? With what, the sewing machine? Really? Interesting. Ooh, a sprinkler! A quality sprinkler. That's really good. If this lasts for one more day, then I should keep this up on our to-do list for sure. And you can wear them. Are you sure that you can? Because they patched it so that you can't wear his shorts anymore. Unless you have to do something special to the shorts, because I was really upset about that. I really wanted to embarrass him. That's nice. I'm probably just gonna end up selling that. Let me actually go back and just sell some stuff right now. I'm gonna get rid of the tent kit too. I mean, if I've been using fast travel, it's whatever. It's whatevs. We'll fish for the rest of the night. You can after they're gold trimmed. Okay. Okay. The crust is a feature. Not a bug. Not a glitch. Okay. Just wanted to be clear here. Pow! Hi, sweetheart. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, party people. How are you doing today? How are you, honey? Hi, May. Hi, Rowan. Hi, Presently. Hi, Owl. What were y'all chatting about today? Oh my god, were you playing Stardew? Have you played Baldur's Gate 3? Can I please show you who I am romancing? I downloaded the Poly mod, but also Baldur's Gate 3 mod. So I am romancing Astarion, and I'm trying to get very close to Karlach, and also, where's my boy? Gale. not the best right now. A star and me, we're pretty serious. We're pretty serious. So, yeah. I hope you had a great stream, honey. It's good to have you with us. Hi, Wheelie. Hi, Proximo. Hello. Hi, Balls on Fire. How are you doing? Literally like a second ago. You didn't even realize? Welcome on in. I love your name. It's so good. I don't want that artifact. I already have it. It's seriously so funny. I'm not taking any of these. Gunther's not taking them. I don't want to pad my bag with this. Oh, I'll take that. How many golden tags do I have? Just one? That's not as special as I thought. Oh, actually 3 of them? Okay, I'll take that. Oh, Shella is on. Sick. Thank you. Yeah, so y'all can go hang out with Shella after. That's perfect. That is perf. I don't know how long she's going to be on today because I wasn't even sure if she was going to be live. Oh! Bucket hat! Bucket hat! Bucket hat! Bucket hat! It looks kind of weird with my hair, but I love it. That man next to me was shaking, and I don't really know why. Oh, no worries! Presently, no worries at all. And I'm not taking the bait. We're not doing it. Oh, man, I don't want a crab pot. Ain't no way. Does anybody else actually use them? I feel like I don't. Unless I need to grab stuff. Specifically for the community center. Hi, Ryan. Welcome back. Fucking hat? It's a bucket hat. Reinald? Hello, Reinald. Stone, coal. Nope, I will take the rainbow. And, God, part of me would like the coal. Just in case. That's your new nickname, Ryan. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. Okay, that's all we're doing for today. I don't think I had any other rewards, right? Yeah. Good, let's go home. You had a weed whack. You had to do what now? I'm gonna sell this. I just don't want it. Who's being sweet? You better stop this. Steve! Thank you so much for 51 months! I appreciate the hell out of you. Steve, make sure to fill out the PP form. You absolute legend. Our current PP, as of the beginning of today's stream, is 281 out of 300. Thank you so much for contributing. I really heckin' appreciate it. We're literally in our last stretch to hit 300, our last month of the plus push. It's almost over. We got this. We got this. We got this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all are legends. You're scholars. I'm gonna make sure you know it. And if you don't know it, then I'm gonna assault you with knowledge. So much PP! Alright. So I need to put that back. Put you there. I'll find a spot for you at some point. I don't know how I'm gonna... I mean... During fall, I could definitely put a sprinkler over in the other section. So I guess I'll just put that there for now. Then coal we'll put over here. And I'll put the hat away and we'll go to bed. Perfecto. Hey, good to go. Why are you fighting me? I'm gonna go to bed myself. I'm gonna go take care of my cramps. Damn it. Ooh, we made a lot of money with those fish we were selling. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bitch. All right. We get some love and hype in the chat for another good day. Thanks for hanging out with us today, friends. I'm so sorry I ended up cutting it short today. I promise the rest of the week we'll be doing our longer normal streams. But your girl's cramps are literally killing her and massacring her. So I'm gonna go snuggle with my heating pad. Listen, I'll take it. Cause listen, if I'm dying right now, guess what? Can I show you? Guess what? No flare up. I have been joint pain free for almost a month right now. No swelling, no nothing. So if I have to be in pain but I can move my hands, I will fucking take it at this point. Woo! How sad is that? Like, you know what? I feel like I could die, but at the same time, at least I can read my books. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the follows. Hopefully you will come back, and if you were here on a raid or if you were lurking and you want to press that heart button so you can make sure you come back, we would love to have you. Hop on in the Discord. We got Stardew Valley sections. We've got book talk sections. We've got it all. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time with the Palea update and some goodies involving that. And then we'll be back to Stardew on Thursday. Okay? All right? Yeah, feel free to go bother Shella because she's not going to be around for the rest of the week. She's going to the St. Jude Summit. So tell Shella that we say hi. I'm not going to do an official raid because I'm just getting off stream right now and going right to bed. So even a raid and run, I just can't be bothered with it right now. I love you. Be good and kind to yourselves and each other. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Take care. Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye, Steve. Bye, Paris. Bye, Chris. It was good to see you, honey. Doc, take care. Willie Zimmer, Bear Witch, Scattered Pookie, Jen, Aurora, Golden. Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I love you. Bye.